Welcome everyone. I have 4 messages of the day and my abbreviated 7-deck read on the table, which you can see is 3 decks and not 7 decks. But I have so much to bring you. At the end of my last read too, something that was in that read was about the color blue and things turning blue, so there may be circulation issues with somebody. I wanted to bring that in before I forget. Blue eagles also came up. And we'll get into all of that, but yeah, so much cool information and downloads have been coming in. I haven't been able to spend much time on my technical drawings, but I'm definitely going to do that still as well, because I have a lot of different pictures to bring you. And I'll show you some of that today as well. So let's get into this. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. And again, this is always your choice, whatever you'd like to do, but I invite you to do it with me. Wherever you'd like to send healing when you take in these deep breaths. One of the techniques that came through, I think it was a long time ago, channeling Sananda or channeling Jesus. I forget what her name is, who channels Jesus, but there's several people out there, but I'm sure you may know who I'm talking about. But one of the techniques that Jesus had guided through her channeling was to, like with your hands, to gently imagine your energy like squeezing on the earth with your white light, very gently squeezing out all the dark energies. That was one of the techniques that they used. And that's coming up now again, and I'm looking at my violet light. So the white light and the violet light, or the violet flame and the white flame, are very important right now to use for transmutation. Yeah, so let's go ahead. If you want to send healing anywhere you'd like to. I didn't even know about what happened in Ohio until yesterday afternoon, which is funny because definitely stuff related to that came up in my reads. And I'm not very far from there, and my son actually lives probably within 3 hours of Palestine. So I was a little concerned about that. And I asked my cards for a timeline, like how many hours out from Palestine is actually safe. And I was getting 4 to 5 hours, and that 3 hours was questionable. So yeah, that's what I was getting in my messages. And again, take it with a grain of salt if it doesn't resonate with you. And again, you have the power to transmute any energies to keep yourself in the shielding. You can look up on Ascension glossary about the 12D shielding. And do it in that way. There's many different ways of shielding yourself. In the golden white light, the Merkaba field, all of these things will shield you. And it actually very specifically comes up in detail in one of my reads today regarding the purification of the twins, that you guys have you're like a test tube. When you breathe in together as the twin unit, you purify the air. It becomes like ether, like liquid air, as opposed to just air. And we'll get into that when I get there. But yeah, there's so much to tell you today. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Go ahead and breathe in. And hold your breath if you'd like to. Send that loving energy anywhere on earth that you would like to, that needs healing. Whether it's above the Great Lakes, regarding the balloons, whether it has to do with the toxic air in Palestine and Ohio, whether it has to do with the Ukraine or the energy around Turkey and Syria, any of those energies, wherever you'd like to send it, go ahead and send that beautiful loving energy. Let's take another deep breath. Sending so much love and blessings out to everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. It's beautiful and sunny out today. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's get right into this. We'll roll the die. We're going to do oracle cards at the end as well. I'll try to remember to put the times up for the different videos, since I am posting 4 of my messages of the day and the 3-deck read on the table for the twin flames. And today is the 19th of February, 2020. 23. It's 2 o'clock on the nose right now. I think we start at 1:55, which is the Magician and the Truth. Excalibur comes up in the messages today too, and it's 2 o'clock, which is 00. A lot of source energy backing up the 2, the feminine, the higher self, duality as well as mediation. All of those energies coming together. The merging of dualities was coming up today as well. We have Taurus, which is the North Node right now. So following that persistent energy of Taurus to follow through. We have the Moon, which is, for me, it's Cancer energy and subconscious energies of romance as well. And we have the number 2 coming up again as I started on at 2 o'clock with you guys. So the 2, again, the feminine, the higher self or high priestess, the duality and mediation of bringing the 2 worlds together, the polarities. And again, we have, let's see, Cancer, and 2 is the high priestess, which for me is Pisces. Some other people may not see it as Pisces, maybe more Cancer for some, I think. But for me, it comes up as Pisces, and it's also the energy of February, which can bring Aquarius into it, which we're in now. So Aquarius into Pisces as we're going into that energy now, Cancer, and then Taurus. And that's interesting too, because it's coming up as Pisces, Taurus, Cancer, which is 2, 2, and 2, and 2 signs forward and 2 signs back. Our energy is always in your life. You know, so for example, we're in Aquarius right now. So 2 signs back would be Saggy, which tends to drain on you, and then 2 signs forward, you tend to cling to, like you like to be friends with them, or they just always are in your life. But one is someone maybe you learn more from, and then the one behind you is more, can be draining to at times, but they're meant to be there. It's kind of like that learning experience. And we're coming up as Taurus is in the middle of Cancer and Pisces. And Taurus is in the North Node right now. And again, I'm getting romance in June, right? Spooning in June. Actually could be coming together in Pisces, and maybe some stubbornness or follow through in Taurus as well as we go. So let's see what's going on with that. So again, Blue Eagles came up starting from the 16th, just the end of the 16th. So most of the stuff is 17th, 18th, and today the 19th. What else came? Blue Eyes came up with the Blue Eagles as well. The Divine Masculine was definitely coming up. Extensive Waste. Patches of Health. Anchoring, the Black Horse, as well as the Elderly Woman. And Healthcare System came up a lot in the all of the messages today, or this weekend rather. The energy of to borrow, waterway, glowing coal, so coal burning came up as a toxic hazard. Muslim came up as well as muslin. And Southwest, I'm noticing this from the 16th, and Southwest came up again today, so that's significant. There's definitely something about gale winds, so some major storms or tornadoes are maybe whipping up, and I was guided to the messages of today, which was talking about Washington and Oregon, and my brother lives up there, so of course I was letting him know. There's some storm warnings up there, so there may be something significant boiling here. And the waterways and boil came up on this page, and glowing coal. But the Southwest is also coming up. So the company Gale SW also came up today. The tiger came up, and again the Chinese characters. So again, hidden tiger, or rather crouching tiger, hidden dragon comes up. To borrow hair, perhaps wearing wigs. Boiling, glowing coal. The dark old crone. And again, that image of the woman when she gets old versus the man, right, who, gets silvery with age. Alas, the waterway of the man, Southwest. And Southwest came up again today. So some kind of waterway, Southwest, involving a storm. Men to lose Tiger Zoo, the Book of He and Him. The Blue Eagles came up as the helicopter aerobatic team of the British Army Air Corps, and the U.S. Army is Silver Eagles. And the Chilean Blue Eagle came up, as well as the crane, that they sound like a crane. They're described as crane for their gray wings and noise, the Chilean Blue Eagle. But yet they're black and white from underneath. And again, the biggest eagles were all coming up. So the Stellar's Sea Eagle came up, and I love the Stellar Jay, which is not actually a blue jay, but looks exactly like a big blue jay, but the colors are even more vibrant and purple. They're actually part of the crow family, not the blue jay family. So the largest eagle in the world was considered the Stellar's Sea Eagle. The Martial Eagle came up on one side as the biggest wingspan, but nobody else mentioned the Martial Eagle. I don't know if that's part of the same group as the Stellar's Sea Eagles, which is Russian. And they're referenced to as the leopard of the air. And then the Martial comes up in Africa. So Russia and Africa. And female eagles are usually bigger than the males. And the bald eagle, of course, which is a 7-foot wingspan, where the largest come up around 8.3 to 8.5 wingspan. So that was all coming up on the 16th. And then the word Jess, like yes, but with an accent, Jes, which means yes, or I remain, exist, but also to decay and degrade. So the more I look up definitions, the more they're coming up as both polarities, both opposites. And again, to be gentle with yourself. So this first read here at 12 on the dot, 12 minutes on my clock, it's 2:07 on the clock. Sorry, I don't know what's on my phone. Jeez. Teddy was cuddling with me last night, so I don't know what he got on me. Okay. I'm not blaming you, Teddy. He's not usually allowed up where I am because all my cards are here, but he's growing up and he's getting better about those kind of things. And so he was cuddling up on my side of the couch last night, and he felt like such a big boy. He's so cute. Okay, where are we? I lost my place. So I had pulled out some cards from Nature's Whispers the night of the 16th, but I didn't do the read until the next day, but I was guided to leave those cards out from Nature's Whispers from the night before, which I pulled at 11 p.m. With the being gentle to yourself. So this is the read, and you see at the top is Nature's Whispers, then Metatron, then my mixed deck of Lenormand, Reverie, and the Kipper deck, and then the Wild Unknown, and then my half deck of Rider Waite, which is just the characters. I'm going to pull it in a little bit more so you can see the pictures better. Okay. Again, for those of you who don't usually watch, on the left is the underlying energies, and on the right is the piles I usually have to count at the end. I usually pull 3 cards for each deck, and then the extraneous ones are for numerology or for putting out in a pyramid purpose to read. So, and again, I'm sorry about the stuff that's on my phone. I have no idea what's on my phone right now. So, so that first deck that I started reading the night before started out with the 33 and the underlying energies, which is the Christ vibration, to be gentle with yourself. And then 10, 6, and 8 came up, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 6 of the Lovers, the 8 of Strength, but it's also the dance of manifestation of dreams. And the 3 numbers added up to 24, which is also Omega, and also is assigned to the Pleiades. And 24 and 33 are both those 6 numbers, right? They add up to 6. It's not necessarily divisible by 6, as in 33 is not, but it's 33 equals 6, so 24 equals 6. So 10 and 8 are also Chi, or in other words, the 10th and the 8th. The 10 and the 8, which become the 18, which is a very important number in Judaism, of Chi. And again, so again, if that's that energy of that source energy of life and life essence, and the 6 of the lovers or love, family, community, but also 6 is the spiral going into the 8 dance when the 9 comes in. And then the 10 was coming up, and the chakra system is the governing number, because then 11 goes into the throat chakra according to Ascension Glossary, and then 12, as most people agree, is the Earth Star chakra, which has come up big time this week, which I already mentioned on my last video, as the 1-2 punch. It's the collapsing of the root and the sacral chakras into the Earth Star chakra, so that you're like automatically grounded. Your shield is grounded into the earth. So those of you who've been doing the work for many years now, it's not that you have to worry about that so much. You're like automatically, you're so well grounded already. You don't need to specifically do that every day. It's more about grounding the parts of yourself or the energies we're pulling in into our bodies, because our bodies are now so well grounded. So that was the message regarding that. But the open heart here, with the big picture and the breakthrough here regarding one card at the end, which was 36 and intuition. And 36 is Atlas, the 10 of Wands. And intuition is the in-twit connection, the twin towers of you and I connection. The destined swan love softening to the open heart. The healing root to open the crown, flowering lovers in the dance of the breakthrough. To Esther Williams, and again, synchronicities, and the floral cap of Atlas, and I was just getting Isis as well, or into it, the in-twit connection. So instead of in the twin towers of you and I connection, it's the into it, being into it connection. Synchronized swim, which is the destined lovers dance of the map of intent. So then the next morning when I got into the rest of the decks, that night I had a bit of a disturbing dream, and I was very surprised because it didn't, in my dream, as me seeing it, it didn't really bother me that much, but it wasn't something I would choose to see, because there was a certain negativity regarding my twin in the dream, and it was including his partner and his mother, and it was not like good energy, like it was kind of toxic energy between the 3 of them. And then I pulled Nature's Whispers, as I told you, and then I started with the Metatron deck the next morning at 10, whereas I dealt Nature Whispers at 11 the night before, going back to 10 right on the nose with Metatron, and then 1001, 1002, 1002 for the Lenormand KIPPER deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, and then the half deck of Rider-Waite. The cards at the end of each deck, or the piles I count, came up in 2 ways, 1121 and then 11211. So it's like the gates, right? The 1111 gates with the 2 in the middle, which, remember, 2 written loosely in script is also the Q. So 2 and Q come up a lot, even though they don't add up to the same numbers, right? Because 2 is obviously 2 and Q is an 8. It's 17/8. But it's coming up as the Q as well in the middle of the 1111, and then 1121, which is justice and the world, or completion, but also the 2-1 of the masculine and the feminine. And first, the 11-2-11, the queen in between the 2 gate holders, the 11 and 11, the double gates on either side of the 2 and the Q. And remember, the Q is the egg and the sperm, right? It is the leap into conception. And remember that the line is 2 dots and an arc. And the line is coming up as the birth, right? So the Q is the actual conception, and the line is then leaping into that new life as the soul comes in. So Q1 was coming up as very significant here. And so 11-2-11 came up as the Rothschilds have been subverting Americans' Christian destiny for centuries. The British slave trade introduced slavery into the U.S. as a precursor to Christian civil war. So that was the first entry. And then 11-21, the first entry was Christmas Eve, and I was guided to Christ Mass Eve, and notice that Eve is the night before, right? Christmas Eve. And the Eve, it's like we're in the eve of the collective awakening to Christ consciousness. That's what was coming up regarding Christmas Eve. And of course, Eve references the divine feminine as well, and Christ is the divine masculine in those different ways. So Christ and Mary Magdalene, Adam and Eve, they're all interchangeable here. The second entry was Jasmy, or Jasmy, then Forward, then Winging It. Fifth was February 13th, which came up as, I think it's a nursing day, and also just came up as so when Gale Winds came up, Galentine's Day came up, which is like the day before Valentine's Day for girls and their friends. 6 is Michael Pratzman Falls Again. 144 came up as well, but it came up 144.1 actually came up. So there's that 144 collapsing to the 18 of the 18, which is the 8 and the 10 of Chi, and then the 0.1, which is the leap from source. So then the female Messiah is already here. Then number 8, that was 8, and then 9 was Carrie Susan Cannon. Then Team Jesus was 10, and then Elaine Marie Dupe, Alain Marie, and then Juppe was 11, and 12 was Swans. 13 is Who is Enki. So there's the energy of 369 was coming up amidst these numbers as well as 1221, very significant. And 21 is Pisces for me, the world, which makes sense. It's the end of the astrological chart where that you then leap from Pisces into Aries into the new cycle, which has been coming up over and over. And at 10:14, I started this here. Oh, by the way, the dice. Taurus is fixed, Cancer is cardinal, and then Pisces is mutable. So there's very balanced. They've been coming up balanced every time. So 10:14 is the Wheel of Fortune and the 14 of the Temperance card, and the angels, patience and balance, and the 10 of destiny and high vibration, of a turn for the better. The underlying energy of the 33, to be gentle with yourself, then 46 of authentic self, 27 of unexpected income, the tiger, and then the world, which is 21. The Christ vibration is to be gentle with yourself, with the 6 of Cups inner children, being their authentic selves. And who are you today? The flame, to exchange hands here. The Queen as the QE2 energy, as I just lost. As soon as I said Queen, my throat closed up. And the Queen with the QE2 energy, the organic energy of QE2 is not Queen Elizabeth. The organic QE2 is the twin flame, quantum energy. It's literally EE and the Q, which is the 2. And then the E from the 3 lines down means one equal and congruent to the other. So, and again, the Queen's Chambers came up today as well. So a lot about the Queen comes up here. And the Queen is the Q of the egg and the sperm, or the sword and the stone. All of that is coming up today. The twin flame quantum energy flow, the push and pull through the 2-eyed needle, remember, to suspend in the air with copper wire and pennies from heaven, inspired or breathed in suspended animation, holding your breath, the silence in the moment before, which is that 0 point field, the anticipation, which you all remember from a Rocky Horror Picture Show, as he says, the anticipation, where SIPA is the C word, which I don't like at all. But here it can be then the Christ whispering bench, to spit, to dope, or stuff oneself, or wolf down, to cheapen. Computer chips as well as anchoring comes in there too, as well as the Children's Internet Protection Act, and congenital insensitivity to pain with anandrosis, which has to do with reduced or inability to sweat. So the energy of anticipation, and so SIPA is a word, and then TION can be the tiger lioness connection, or the top dog connection, so of source energy, creator. And we're talking about anticipation. So we have the TICI also comes up here, TICI, which means to grind, to approach, to believe and trust. So again, we just talked about the C and the anti-C, so the Christ and the Antichrist, but it's not the negative connotation that you all would assume, right? Because the parentheses are just the C reflecting itself. So the C and the anti-C is the two sides of the coin facing each other. You are the two halves of each other, right? So if you're so-so at something, then the other person's so-so at something, then that's what you have in common. And then when you're really good at something, the other one's really bad at it, and that's where you complement each other and come together in the middle. So the anti-C, if I say anti-C, you just know it's the other parenthesis, which is also the whispering bench in the other direction, the C and the C backwards, which is to not cheapen by computer chips and acts and bypassing pain. The stone came up here too, and again, the stalemate or pat connection, where PAT is the light tap or sound of the hand or perhaps a footstep to stroke or fondle an opportune moment or fitting, something suitable or convenient. And again, a lot of the messages coming up here are all about being ready and suitable for the opportunity that arises, the occasion, the stone. The 4 trite being superficially complete on the surface, lacking originality, or patent or pattern. I experience, I undergo the stalemate, the tie or draw, to suck or gesticulation, gesture, being even or equal, the same, very right, sin, swap, to fall, to dive, to die, and stupa, which can be a pounding mill, or it could be someone who's drunk in a stupa. But again, the bed, the foot, and cotton coming up here as well, and the medicated cloth or sponge, falling asleep, to slope, or that slippery slope, against, out of, or over control, in the anticipation of the anti-SIPA, Tion, so top dog connection or tiger lioness connection. And then the ant comes up here too, as in the creature, an ant, or your aunt, as in your sister, your mother's sister, being here, EC, or icy, as I lose my voice again. So the queen made me lose my voice, and the icy. So Isis can be coming up, but also the energy of the feminine, which is the cold versus the hot. And the pat connection that we just went over, the light tap or sound of. And the sound of music is coming up. So being here in the now moment is to be even, or the icy fall connection, that slippery slope. And that came up more today as well. The ant that's here and is suitable is ready for the occasion in the connection. An approach to believe or trust, an even connection, or PA connection, or father connection here, in the top dog connection. The anti-C, or the stone in the Tion, who houses relics, and the anti-C party on with the stalemate for clapping and applause in the performance. So the parentheses here of the anti-C, the path of 1, source on, tiger lioness, totem, or 2, moral man and Mary, or Jesus and Mary, like I said, Eve and Adam, and the tie and the lie of the tiger and lioness, the top dog time out, dead end, and then the tie and the lie, I was guided into the rest of the words of Ger, G-E-R for tiger, and the oneness of lioness, or is that the O-ness, the humanness, or both? So toggle up fully prepared. The German convert to Judaism, or someone that could be a greedy, gluttonous German who converts to Judaism, ready and better to lie on S, or Sophia, the right angle, the lambda leap to oneness, or on S. Say it soft, then it's almost like praying. The tiger lioness. So the tig and tiger also came up here as angry and house, to understand, and tar, which is to survive or pull through. But tar is also in Pleiadian, per Elena Denon, the throne, and that throne came up again today as well. The tiger and tens, or dozens or lots. The gopher, who runs errands, or playing tag, or the cup with 4 handles. The tiger is then rage or sudden anger, and the lion's roar. The crouching tiger and resting lion. The hidden dragon, hidden breath of anticipation. Okay, so you have the crouching tiger and resting lion, but the hidden dragon is that hidden breath of anticipation between you. As the Christed children in the anticipation of the tiger's approach, the eye of the tiger's eye, the Tigris and Euphrates, where Euphrates, or afraid and ease at the same time, of the tiger and the lion. So, as I write underline, the underline I meant to write, and now undulations coming up again, which came up today. At 11:24 is justice and alignment of, again, the Queen of Wands, or Omega, the Pleiades, and under the lion, which can represent Lyran as well. So going from the Lyrans to the Pleiades. And the line, or lineage, the leap. The 23 of the King of Wands, that you are worth it, King of Wands, your vision of the 38, Queen of Cups. And remember, this year is 23, it's all about the King of Wands. An acceptance of your love. You are worth it, King of Wands, your vision of the Queen of Cups. An acceptance of your love. Where then 238 comes up, combining 23 and 38, which is Q38, the Queen of Cups. The higher self in the abundant dance. The King of Wands' vision of her with flowers in her hair by candlelight on the beach, with flowering sunset and ship coming in, and rowboat on hand. As her vines grow around his trunk, in Sherwood Forest, with all 4 seasons of mothers watching in joy or envy of their love, wishing it could be them, but it could. And the 14 of Temperance, and patience and balance, the assurance that all comes in good time, and no time as well. To embody the angelic realms in the 31 leap, to the 4 first, before going to the 1 to start a new cycle. Of being spontaneous, of reaching out to the little one, or pulling in a new soul to your womb. The 33, to be gentle with yourself, yours elf, or your little one, the inner Christed child of source love at 11:33. Again, justice, truth, balance, and alignment in the 33 of the Christ or unity consciousness, the Christ vibration. Then the first card here is the 10 of open your heart, destined to swan love, the divine feminine with her higher self, her sacred masculine in the etheric realms, entwined, the Christed high vibe of lovers, seeing the big picture, healing the root to flower the crown, of the body, the planet, the galaxy, and the universe. At 11:36, of justice and Atlas, the weight of the world, and the 8 of the dance, in the breakthrough of the infinite heart, and the ocean of turbulent emotion in the dance of the butterflies, the little girls transforming from drama to dragon, from the energy of Dre, and the dragon is Dre and Argon, so Agon, one of the words for Agon is also Argon, but the energy of Dr. AMA versus Dr. Agon, and drama and dragon, where argon is the 3rd most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere, colorless, odorless, and inert, noble gas. And then the organite pyramids also coming up here. Although remember, that's organite as opposed to argonite. So we have the AMA coming up, which is the Japanese pearl diver, And notice that Ama is also AN, which is 1, and the reflection of itself as NA. So Ama is also Anna. The Japanese pearl diver, toxic byproduct of improper or incomplete digestion. The fabric of camel or goat hair. And the paternal grandmother, this, that, these, those, when. The father in the village, the grandmother, mother, the origin of we, the wet nurse, housekeeper, nurse, mistress, I, and the now moment. To love or to like, loving with love, mother, rain, and man, notice Rain Man came up together again here, and yonder, to trouble, brother, wound, and yoke. Human beings or people, a large amount, a ton. Paper, old ruin. Father's brother, lady of the house, founder, organizer, senior, older, sire, governess. Seldom, rarely, maternal aunt. Mother-in-law, however, flute, water, horse and dog. Doctor, human village with dogs and horses and Rain Man. With love, to love and wound. The founder, the organizer. Dr. Organ versus Dr. Argon. Okay, so you notice the organs, the masses of the body versus the gases of the body. The doctor of organs versus the doctor of the inner struggle. To depart to the purple moon, inert, noble gas. So at 12:04, which is the hanging man and the emperor, or stability, and then PM was just coming up, and actually PM was my friend from college, and when I lived with her, she got 2 kittens, and one of them's name was PM because he was piss monster, because he pissed in the car on the way home, and he looked like PM. So PM's coming up as a cat, but there's this energy of the hanging man and the emperor, or perhaps a dark cat, and the 36 of intuition, and Atlas, the weight of the world, or perhaps working really hard on your intuition, or just working hard, weight, lifting, unending struggle, resistance training, or growing of the physical body as opposed to the acceptance of consciousness growing by going with the flow. Flowering the crown naturally in synchronized swim, where swim is the sine wave of Sophia, to use, I am. Chakra or shock ray connection to co-creation, or Imana, which is the Pleiadian name for their she god, which Imana for me is EMANA, which is the emotional attachments to man in the center. And then Ana, ANA, is an equal quantity in a direction analogous to up, but along the additional axis added by the 4th dimension, toward within, in favor of I, me, my mother, me, child, tree, cave and cavern or den, and the whole of a ship, child offspring to rush in, barge into wealthy prosperity, a spell of fine weather. The guest, and by the way, the host and the guest came up as polarities prior to this as well. Down below, grandmother, onwards, if daughter, to have a feeling that something will happen. To see, discern, make out, ancestor, his, hers, main, fundamental, yesterday deceased, late, in-law, and man. So M is a feeling, child, wealth, cave and good weather, 4D trajectory up, but also within in another direction, where E is one equal and congruent to Imana, where Mana is the magical power, one equal and congruent to the magical power, the prestige, a blessing, to swallow, inherit, place or pardon, water, sin, omen, miracle, antidote, to be it, or so be it, death, to dare, potent outlook, mother, sister, encourage, hand, divine authority, heritage, flow, spring, heirloom, respect, and meaning, all regarding one equal and congruent to, or Imana, or the feminine god of the Pleiades. So at 12:23 is the hanging man and the king of wands, and the 8 of the dance of leadership with flame in hand, the 55 of the ace of swords, Excalibur, and the red power of safety and strength of the hand, the home and the peace pipes, and good digestion, going up from the basement to the reservation in the energetic exchange or arrows of love with your ancestors. from the Earth Star chakra to the root and sacral, and the arc for appreciation and healing in the 3 and 4 of the solar heart, the quantum entanglement field, the QE2, the 4 to 7 of the heart to the crown, and blessings and thanks of that heart to crown for abundant universe, the 4 to 6 or 46. The heart to the third eye for authentic self, the 6 of cups inner children, clearing the ancestral roots for Thanksgiving each day or top dog God each day, and the 7 of the crown being the key to the 6-9-8 pod, where the 6, 9 and come together and make the 8 of the 2 peas in a pod together. The 7 is the key to open that. So you have your 7 chakras, but you don't have the 6-9-8 pod until the high heart is activated, which then automatically the 9 is activated, which is the mouth of God, that fourth eye type of energy from at the back of the throat, which connects to the all of that. There's different connections there regarding the pituitary and the pineal and the hypothalamus, that all work together in connection to the crown. That actually the pineal is the pineal to crown, and the pituitary is the pituitary to the pineal, and then the thalamus, governs all of that. It's that eye of Horus around all of that. So as soon as the pod activates, you're on your way. That's your wake-up call to your higher chakra system, because the numbers 1 through 9 is the 144. It's the 1 of the leap from God to you, becoming a human being. And then the 2, 3, 4, 5 is the old system that we were living in. And the 6, 7, 8, 9 is the new system we're going to. So the 144 is the transition to this awakening of this 6, 9, 8 pod, right? Because then you have the 9 numbers. And then it goes one step further to the 10, 11, 12, which is another octave. Just as in numbers, right? The 1 through 9 are the basic numbers, but 10, 11, 12 is the higher octave, just like you have in astrology. I just got really hot. Just give me a second. So the energy of the 6 of Cups inner children, clearing the ancestral roots in order for Thanksgiving each day, to be in gratitude each day, which is that top energy of gratitude, which is along with compassion there. The 7 key to the 6-9-8 pod of the 2 peas in a pod to infinity and beyond. At 12:33, which is Christ on the cross, as we're approaching Easter again, the 12 of the hanging man and the 33 of the Christ vibration. And the first card here being the 31 of transformation, and the mother coming up here again. The transforma connection, the Tion. So it can be mat connection or the mother tiger lioness connection, or form a connection of 31, which is the group, the chaos to leap from the 3 to 4 to get to the 1 for the new cycle. So the 31 is referencing the 1, 2, 3 leap to 4, right? There's always a 4th because source energy is your 4th connection before you leap into that new cycle of 1. So again, the leap from 3, 4 to get to 1. So 3, 4, 2, 1 to the new cycle. So again, that energy of the 2 and the 1 being together, the sacral and the root chakra, and the 3, 4 of the solar plexus and the heart being together, the solar heart. Right, the grounded heart, and then as the high heart comes in, and all of this is this rearranging of the chakra systems into the new system with the new grids, and again, and very much accenting the fact that this 12th Earth Star chakra is set in place. It is grounded. The solar heart, 2 to 1 of the root sacral connection, and the 12 of the Earth Star. And the energy of 212 had just come up as well. So 212 and 221 were coming up here. And the third eye, which is the 6th chakra, to the solar plexus, And then the 2-1 connection, which 21 is a 3 again. The direct mother connection. As the 12 comes in to direct the root and the sacral together, like grounding the womb into the earth. The 17 of which was that day, it was the 17th, which is the star and healing and dreams, conquering your fears, and start today with one step at a time for your dreams to come true. Collect the sun to go to 1, to crown the 7, which is the key to the 698 pod, the 2 P's, or the Queen of Pentacles, or the Q of Pentacles. The 46341-7 was coming up. So the cards were 4, 6, 3, 1, and 7. We're saying go from the heart to the third eye, to the solar plexus, and don't forget to hit source before you go to the new cycle, 1 to 7, transforming through the solar heart to the stars, and then the 53 of the catapult of the Knight of Swords, and the codependency of the two halves of the tree that are in separation but locked at the roots, as the kids and the grandkids find their way back down, collapsing the separation, weaving them back together top down as we grew up bottom up. So after the clearing of the old grids, rebuilding of the new grids top down, as I just told you, they just anchored the 12th chakra into the new grid of the earth. The Earth star is stabilized and now locked in. The 14 of boundaries of the old system, of having to set them daily. The key is now activated to 144 from the 14 of the old system of 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5 to the new system of 144 of the 2, 3, 4, 5 and then the leap to the 6, 7, 8, 9 of the heart-to-heart connection, because remember the 4 is the heart chakra, and you're adding another heart chakra, the high heart, to become the 8 chakra. The 1-8 flow, which 144 collapses into the 1-8, which is the Chi energy of the 10 and the 8. The flow and the leap of the 2 human hearts, top down into the crazy 8's dance and infinite flow. And this was at 12:45. Which I wrote down, this is my Philadelphia birth time. I was born at 11:44 to 45 in Memphis, which is an hour behind us, so which is right now 12:45. So that was coming up. So saying that we've jumped to the new timeline. That is now your base. The 14 is the key to the 144, where the 14 is the angelics, being patient and balanced, to be with another heart, or 2 hearts as one, crowning together, or twins. And that was at 12:47. And I wrote down, I was getting big connection here in those last 2 sentences. And I just wrote comet as well. So I don't know what comet was up there, but I didn't receive any story about that. But I heard someone say something about a comet. So that's coming up here too. At 12:48, and that comet may have been marking this sealing of this, right? The lockdown of the 12th chakra into the earth. And again, marking the gridlock. At 12:48 is the hanging man, the wisdom, seeing the perspectives of the 48, the walking away and within. The underlying energy of the main male from 1 to 11. And then the page of pentacles, being the student of life, of the rod and staff and discernment. Of the 2 sharing the lucky charm with abundant wishes of the 26 page of wands, to love and third eye for great fortune, which fortune's coming up as number 4 and tune, right? So 4 is the lamb to leap, from the lamb to the father, leap, and then the tune, inspired by great fortune in wealthy mass transition of Gemini or Virgo, Libra and Pisces and Scorpio here. The 1 and the 2 of the masculine and feminine on the 32 journey of romance and subconscious. Romancing the stone at the mid-cycle, because remember, subconscious is between the conscious and unconscious. The mid-cycle, leaving emotions that no longer serve to go within to other worlds. 111 to 213 was coming up as a period. And then also referencing 26 and 27. So 111 to 26 and 213 to March 2nd and 4-4 and March and April in general, the magnification of the moon cycle and details, which tails comes up significantly here, and now the big picture with lots of energetic exchange or hours of love flowing with the King of Pentacles. At 12:56, the Hanging Man and the Two of Swords of their knowing, or mastering the flow of manifestation. The Queen of Pentacles is waiting for the Page of Pentacles to become the King of Pentacles, or perhaps for a child to come to the Father. And the 18, or a child to turn 18. The Moon Child in the purple moon, or perhaps they're a Pisces or turning 18 in March. As lovers and or family, with major breakthrough of the Sun, with the King of Wands and dark birds leaving, for the 33 cage to open, or Christ consciousness. But this is also 33 is the number of martyrdom, and the cage is significant today as well. So opening the cage with the key that's now supplied, because now you're being told that you've gone through the official activation of the 698 pod with the 7 key to open the full chakra system to the 12, which is now grounded into the earth for the collective. So now the twins are getting ready to be ready. The 8 of Pentacles getting their ducks in a row, organized with open heart and standing up for their own inner child. And again, don't get on yourself if you make mistakes in your mind when you get triggered to go back into talking about someone with someone, or which happens all the time, right? We're human, and we might, someone might be concerned in calling you about someone, and then you may check yourself for having quote unquote gossiped about someone, even though they may have been loving words. The 27 of the Ace of Wands in exchange of hands, inspiration, copper, penny, and the Queen, and unexpected income or incoming coming up here. The 18, 6, and 33 came up together here, and then together is 144 and the 633. So I looked up 238 because that came up earlier, which was Claudia, Thor, Krishna, and Bank of America. And then 144 comes up in Gematria as time, light, Shane, item, friend, and Lionel. And Lionel's the lion, L. And that's the lamb, because the L is lambda. So the lion and the lamb reference there with 144, and then 633 with Lucky and the Matrix, which is the mother tricks, the Masonic ritual, sunglasses, and free energy all came up under 633. So that's like the new cycle. Mount Hermon, female pharaoh, Bible queen. And then MAGA, MAGA, YMCA, and then PNP came up, as well as Dudley. And then choose Pleiadians of El Shaddai. Something by the ocean. Cake by the ocean? What did I write? I don't know what I wrote there. It looks like C-E-L-E or C-A-L-E. I don't know what I wrote. But you can look that up under 633 and under Gematria if you want to know. But at 107 here is the leap of the masculine, the magician, and the 7, which is the chariot and the crown and the key. Where the first card here was the 17 of 17 again. So you had 107. At 107, the card 17 came up. The gift from breakthrough and conquering your fears. The 5 of the family tree, clearing, and the 7 of cups, synchronicities. The synchronized swim with Esther Williams, and the divine feminine's heart reaping rewards of the rainbow bridge. And the 43 of the labyrinth of coming together to the center, each in their own time, in their own lane, in their own way. The dream of freedom to come together in joy through the trunk and the hedges, and a golden box with a red ribbon, or the rose gold or copper color as the stars expand when they come together, the flame gift of synchronistic joy, the 37 and the 12, with the 3 being key and the 1-2 punch, of the King of Cups impoverished boy and wise privileged lady, or Scorpio and Pisces with Aquarius and Taurus family, or given the freedom to dream at 114. The 1 of the masculine, and then the Temperance card are the angels. At 115, which is then the devil side, is the underlying energy of the mother bear with dear one. And perhaps the dear one is a new mother themselves. So it could be a grandmother, mother, and child here. The mother bear with dear one, who's like a new mother in this deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook. The deer is considered in the energy like a new mother, right? They're in this heightened energy because they're a new mom. Like they have total understanding of how the world works. The curious otter or child with vulture or hyena, or a blessing in disguise, and you never know which one you're going to get. So the vulture or hyena, and which one is it that you're going to get? Or are they half and half? The old eagle or the spotted dog, or at the crossroads or intersection with the tiger approaching. And I was just getting the energy of the tigress and the Euphrates coming together as they come together in the Y in the road. And of course, Forrest Gump was coming up. And now I'm getting the forest of Little Red Riding Hood going to grandmother's house. The bed in energetic exchange, or the rot, or our overtime of urgent twin towers, or is that a temper tantrum or pie? Or is that ovulating? Or evolution coming up there with the ENT of the talking tree. So the EV, U, and LT, which is coming up as light, that you are, or that you're referencing. Thy ENT, which is the talking tree, or the JC throne of the Pleiadians. The throne is a tool, or ant, ULA, or angels. The throne, or Terra, or Tehran comes up here, of the ant or tiger, the eye, and the tiger with the crescent moon, which is also the arc, but it's also the hook. So there's always a positive and negative side. The vulture cleans up our messes. And this, they don't get enough credit, right? Because they clean up all the messes that you don't want to clean up. And the tarantula follows their intuition and journals. The tiger is passionate, strong, and sensual. They are the lunar force of the feminine energy, fearing nothing and at one with the silence, taking advantage of the midnight hour when overstimulated. They may need to candle gaze. And the first card here at 131, which again is that leap from the 3 to the 1 in the chaos. Make sure you check in with source before you tap down for the new cycle. The 1 of the panther that snarls here, the black panther in the dark, to trigger the blessing in disguise, as the tiger meets the dark panther in collective awakening top down, snake or kundalini, or is that panther panting for her? Healing roots to flower crowns. The earthworm is fresh energy, but is also easily intimidated, perhaps shy and needing to risk embarrassment. With 853 and 43, the dance of the Knight of Swords to come together with the Page of Wands. So at 137, mother with child, and grouchy one needing to choose a new path, perhaps as the tiger, perhaps dropping the sarcasm and cleaning up others' messes, to be the tiger with eye on the prize of self. And it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. Damned indecision and cursed pride. I kept my love for her locked deep inside, and it cuts like a knife. She's out of my life. So that's coming up. And of course, that's Michael Jackson. I saw that song with the Jackson 5 family reunion. It was beautiful. So 140 is the masculine and the Page of Cups, their innocence, and then the Michael Jackson energy. And then the 1 to the 42, right? The child who never grows up, or that Peter Pan energy. The 42 of the Two of Cups. And then the 1 of the elephant, clearing one step at a time, with a flame in their trunk, with fire in their nose, right? Feeling your twin. And at 143 is the underlying energy of coming together and the world. After the Queen of Swords speaks to the Dark Knight and the Page of Pentacles to set them free. At 144, the Page of Pentacles, or an invite, setting the Page of Cups free of their sleepless nights and ascension perhaps, or a bold move or Cancer Queen of Wands to the King of Swords. And the King of Swords may be stone-faced with the Knight of Swords demanding answers after coming such a long way and coming full circle, or Divine Feminine or Pisces or neighbor or delivery at the door, perhaps of Cancer and Pisces or Scorpio and Aries, or 2 queens and 2 pages, and the Knight or King of Swords and the Knight of Swords with them. The first card here is the King of Cups in destined transformation of Libra, Aquarius, and or Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. And open to sunshine and gift presented through the snarl of the Black Panther, or King of Cups, Panther. And it's funny because my high school mascot was the panther. Or Leo, Aquarius with something to say, perhaps from around the neighborhood, to the Queen of Pentacles, or the King of Cups with water, and the Queen of Pentacles with a dry garden, so perhaps they have something to share. And then the Page of Wands, inspired by the Queen of Cups. The Magician, or Gemini or Virgo, stepping up, or messages back. The Queen of Cups Magician and the Page of Swords, or the King of Cups is talking to the Queen of Pentacles about inspiring the Queen of Cups with magical tools, or manifestation, or DNA, strand, or stepping up to the plate. Or Pisces talks to Scorpio about the Queen of Pentacles to get her to inspire the Queen of Cups, Cancer or Pisces, to manifest or play ball, with the Knight of Pentacles offer to the Six of Cups, whether soulmate or kids, or work for Justice or Libra, or Pisces and Gemini and Aries here. And the Queen of Pentacles, or getting the Knight of Pentacles to help the Six of Cups children or soulmate get justice, or Gemini and Libra, or Virgo and Libra, to come together with help of the kids or messages. And then we have Libra, Capricorn, or temptation waves, self-satisfied or getting their wish, as the Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, may be guarded or defensive, as or of the Emperor and King of Wands. As the Knight of Wands is rushing back with an option for the Knight of Cups here, or while the Knight of Cups offers love to the King of Pentacles. The Emperor or Aries, and again, the Emperor and the King of Wands came up together more than once here. The Emperor or Aries sends the King of Wands or Saggy back with an offer of passion, creativity, or growth, as the Knight of Cups is with love to the King of Pentacles, perhaps Capricorn, with Lover or Two of Cups. And notice the Lovers and Two of Cups are together here, with the High Priestess, Higher Self, Hermit, Sovereign, with Empress, or it's all the same person. The Lovers connect as the Knight of Cups to Hermit, the King of Pentacles and Sovereign Empress, or mother and daughter leaving the light on. The Empress with Justice as opposed to the Emperor, or son with father and mothers with daughter. Capricorn, Sag, Aries, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, Taurus here, with Libra as well. And that was all at 212, which is the feminine or higher self and the hanging man, or wisdom. So that was the first message. So let me just put this So now we have all right, so here's the second message of the day. And this starts with the past life deck. That's Brian Weiss from Many Lives, Many Masters. And the second is the mixed deck of Lenormand and Kipper. The third is my Gilded Tarot. The fourth is Journey of Love. And then the fifth is the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook. And the sixth is my half deck. So there's 6 decks in this read. I'm going to pull them up so you can see. So again, same setup. 3 cards pulled from the underlying energies to the ones I had to count for numerology or to read. And so here we go. So on the 18th in the morning, there are also a few messages here coming up before I got into that read. Let's see here. So there's this energy of noticing how you feel when you're talking to different people, especially if it's someone like you haven't talked to in a long time, or let's see if I can get that back again. There we go. Sorry about that. And how is your body responding to them? Are they responding in a positive way, a negative way? And is the negative energy, if negative energy comes up, is that them or is that your fear? So why is that energy coming up? And to feel into it, to not think about it, but feel into it. The energy of monsoon came up. So there's that energy of the gale winds. So monsoon and voyage, brokenness. So someone might run into some weather on a voyage. Sight and song, orgasm came up multiple times here, and Zoom. And again, the energy of gasm, not orgasm, but gasm, which is explosive with pleasure. So it doesn't have to be a sexual pleasure, it can be any pleasure. And then the energy of to laugh and to start laughing to give yourself pleasure. And this isn't the word I wrote, but I'm getting plagiarism, but pagerism came up here as well. Sight and song. And then wounds coming up regarding the universe. The universe, the Netherlands and Volkswagen came up here, as well as Netherlands was coming up in a scientific, educational way. And Venezuela also came up, spring and summer. And the color green, to turn, which means shift, vertebrate or vertical surface, which references the column of the spine in the chakra system. The two backslashes together, and the undergrowth in the forest. The right to fell trees or cut shrubs in a forest. The armor, tie, string, and rope, to turn, bend, open, close, to thread and needle. So needle and thread came up at least 3 times in my messages. Vues came up as in French vu, but with a Z. So voulez-vous and you coming up, as well as the letter Q for VWO, V-W-O, which is the letter Q, and the letter W, which is 2 U's, and the quantum energy of flow, flux, and current, which is very significant. And then with green coming up as vert, invert was also coming up, so inversion. To pull, to draw, grandfather, cover, encircle, enclose, and surround. So with the needle and thread came up again, the Hydra system comes up again, and the Hydra plant, which looks like a pinwheel with a curved base and a mouth, like the plants that talk, the Little House of Horrors, but the spinal cord and the spiral cords, the green pillar, the mouth, and then the shutter or the irises around them, right? So it's that same energy of the eye. So picture the needle and thread, picture the pinwheel, which is the Hydra, the vertebrae, the spine, and the spinal cord that runs through it. So, right, so the needle would be the spine, and the thread is the cord, because it's much more fragile. and the top, and then the pin. So the safety pin is not only my example, which I'm going to show you in a minute, of the feminine collecting the sun energy into her body, into the masculine's body, creating a closed circuit, a vacuum within the pin with housing on top, which creates that water air, so to speak, or that ether in the pin, right? So that safe, clean, pure air in your system. But notice that a safety pin also looks like a penis and balls, and it also looks like a test tube. So there's multiple references to that stuff coming up. So the top here is to see the sun, as in a child. The song, soon, and zoom all came up, as well as the tail, sight and song, paganism, and the tail came up with paganism. So the tail of the dragon, but also the story to tell. To leave, die, finish, fresh and raw, leak, overflow, fart, or again, passing gas, as we're talking about gas here, mom and mommy, at the Y in the road with sun, two, song, and nonsense, as well as orgasm, or something that gives you great pleasure. The voyage of song and monsoon, or the Mon or Monday sun, which is so funny because I was born on Monday and so was my son. But the son's, the word S-O-N-Z-E, is lard or pork fat, and that brought up Judaism, right? Because you don't eat pork. To see so in my lineage, I would have that because I have a Jewish lineage, but we never celebrated Judaism, so of course I've eaten pork in my life. So that may be a wound coming up for us. To see my sons, or pork and fat, and that can have to do with your own fat and how you view your own fat, right? Do you see yourself as Porky the Pig, or do you see yourself in a loving way? The money reader is also coming up here, but without the mother. Brokenness without two. So again, very much the mother and son coming up here. The voyage, so not a problem. To laugh, explode with pleasure. And again, orgasm, paganism. And again, the church talks about pagans as something dirty or bad. And I brought this up before, that I sat in church with my ex while the priest is talking about, in a derogatory way about pagans. And then you look up the definition and it's so derogatory. The tail, as in the dragon's tail, the actual tail has been cut off because that came up this week, and the story of the tale to tell. And then 1019 is the wheel of fortune, and the 19 of the sun, so the energy of destiny and high vibration. And the source energy backing up the leap, and the 19 of the sun. To surround one you, attract the grandfather from the Netherlands, the scientific Netherlands, or Germany, Venezuela, West Virginia coming up here too. One verse, or French, German, mountain mama, and again West Virginia coming up there. Summer, country, and UV rays, where UV means Eurasian eagle owl, as another eagle comes up. The egg and the bird without AI, the natural bird. The Q and W, one green, turn or shift. The vertical pillar, the armor, to thread the needle, to flow with current and go with the flow. So there's that energy, right? All parts of your body have armor on them, right? Your spine protects your spinal cord, and this comes up today again in the read, that the rib cage protects your heart, and your face protects your pineal gland and all the stuff in your head. So three things came up. The needle, and remember it's a two-eyed needle, the twin flame push and pull of going in both directions at the same time, which causes that levitation energy, right? So if you've felt the really intense energy coming in with you and your twin, sometimes it can get so intense that you feel like you're going to lift right up off the bed. The two-eyed needle of third and fourth eyes and the solar heart chakras of coming together. And the needle here, the chakra system and the spinal cord, and the two-eyed needle of the twin flame quantum energy of the needle and the thread, and notice that and is DNA and Dan, like the spine and the cord, the nervous system, and the energy waves. So not only do you reference the spine and the cord together, but when you see the Melchizedek, I learned this several years ago on a Melchizedek site, like he calls himself Melchizedek, a demonstration, like a classroom setting, of how the energy beams go through your head and then connect within with the nadis, the energy waves like you would see on an example of Reiki. you see these, sharp energy waves. So there's energy tubes that go from your unicorn to the bottom of your head, which is that fourth eye energy, and then straight across from your third eye out the back of your head, and then the pillar that goes down from your crown straight into your body or your heart. And then the fourth rod goes through just above and in front of your ears. Okay? And there's that ear connection, ear to ear, which also connects with the sinuses and the nose. So there's this energy of the nervous system and energy waves, where the nervous system is very jagged, and then the energy waves come up like water, like very smooth, very hard and soft. So again, like the spinal cord and the spine, there's always a combination of hard and soft. And the nerves are communication tools to the body. What the energy or nadis are as communication from source. So so I drew the needle and the thread, and I drew my pin, and I drew the pictures of the hydra, and then I was guided to draw a reflecting hydra, which then reflects the two eyes and the nose, and then the nose being the flower of the two eyes, and the shutters coming together makes the flower, right? The two nadis, the nadi is one energy arc, and then the flower is two energy arcs. The petal is two nadis together. And I wasn't expecting to go to that place, but that's where it was taking me today. And just showing you, which I'm going to read this page, but I'll show you the picture first so you get some of the information here. So you see, here's the needle and thread, and this is the information I was just telling you. And then here's the pin, and you see how it looks like a penis as well, but also a test tube where the plasma and the red cells get separated down here, and then it creates this air vacuum here, which is the ether. It's pure air in the pod of the masculine and feminine as she collects from the sun, which here is the hydra. And then there's the other hydra. And then you see they become the eyes and the nose coming together in the flower here. The nose. They smell the flower. And again, here's the feminine, right? When it's closed, it's sealed, and this becomes a vacuum. But this is the feminine collecting the energy in her loop to the masculine loop, which is the back, and then here's the housing of source energy. So you breathe in the bright light to sharpen the bad seed. You eat plasma, but not red blood cells, which again is coming up as the stardust is different from the red blood cells. And I just told you the other day that plants were coming up as not necessarily not living things, but non-living things, or those things like plants that don't have a vascular system of blood. So the suns were coming up as two suns, two eyes at the same time, and the spring and the summer coming up as, of course, the plants are all growing and ready to come out, and from bulbs as well. So the sun comes in here as the fall and winter. So you fall into the winter, and the winter's for recovery, so that you can bloom again in the spring, right? So we have the sun of the aura, or the gold ray. Aura is literally gold and ray, A-U and R-A. To brighten your aura, to lighten you up, the sun. The divine feminine who fills up senses and creates that vacuum in the test tube. The plasma and the stardust that you are. And the separation of the two circles at the bottom of the pin being the plasma and the blood cells being separated out. And then the divine masculine side of the pin, the back of the pin, who uses and houses and creates a strong foundation. The pin, which is the test tube, the penis and balls, but also represents a poop. And I'm sure you've seen that many times. When you've pooped, it looks like a penis. So, right, what goes up must come down. But that's the energy that's coming through here. So the separation of the plasma, which is stardust, it's what your bodies are made of from the star system you've come from. And that came up from, I don't know if that came up from Magenta or Elena, one of them. I'm sure they've both touched on that in a certain way. But the stardust coming in as your body and creating that liquid air, or the ether, in that vacuum, where the ether is that really pure air to breathe, right? So we're not tainted by all the toxins in the air. But also ether comes up as liquid mercury, right? That quicksilver, which is reference to Virgo energy as the Mercury, right? So there's Gemini Mercury and there's Virgo Mercury. And Virgo is coming up here because of the quicksilver. That's the stone that's assigned to Virgo. So Mercury was so important in alchemy because it was considered the base of all metals and liquid light. And notice this will come up too on the elemental chart. Numerologically, silver is 47. But gold, platinum, and Mercury are 78, 79, 80. They come up together as Mercury being more significant than silver. But believe it or not, Mercury comes up above platinum and gold. So this is the way it comes up. In alchemy, the ether is basically the breath of God, which then becomes vapor, or the Eden, which is coming up as that vapor, of human breath, and that vacuum in the pin, which then separates to the divine masculine and feminine, right? Or separating the red blood cells out, and then to the four elements of breathing in the liquid air, and then breathing out, which is the dragon, the fire breath of fire and earth, breathing out, right? Breathing out what you don't need anymore, the stuff that's trash, pooping it out. So the dragon body separates the wheat from the chaff and takes in the ether and breathes out. The dragon's breath and gas, right? The dragon's breath and gas, which references bad breath and farts and poop and pee and all that. The transmuting of the physical body. The human body is a filter that poop then nourishes in the garden new growth. So again, it's all usable in the cycle of life. The energy of the plasma, which is coming up here as the divine masculine fire, earth, and the ether as the divine feminine water, air, that liquid air. And the dragon breath as breathing in the four elements. The alchemy of ether, of AE, which is ash or bright light in Pleiadian, and THER, which is to sharpen, or a seed of no worth, or in other words, the bad seed. The bright light sharpens the bad seed, or the one lacking, right? Gives them a boost, sharpens their skills. To become the vapor, the ether, which is all elements, becomes liquid air or vapor, which is VA and poor, right? A poor wounded warrior at the VA. The steam, the heat, the cloudy fumes, the exhale, the warmth, the ardor of love, insubstantial and fleeting, vain imagination, idle talk, boosting, melancholy, the blues, again there's the blue coming up, hysteria and hypochondria, wind and flatulence, to boast, depress, or bore, which is also tunneling your way through, and ship. So this is all about vapor. So lifelessness, moodiness, and being in a bad mood, or creates gas, to stumble, trip, meet, come up against, or there's two possibilities here. Counts the elements before and after as two possibilities. And in vapor, the ore is yellow and gold. The tincture on the coat of arms. Early, previously, before, or ere, I pray, dog, and literally gold, AU. Gold to dawn, become light, become red, now, presently, yet. However, lifeless, moody, gaseous, meet, trip with dawn, tree now, origin song, wood, might, incantation, prayer, or to get turned on, flipping a switch. Okay, so we're going from ether, right? The breath being breathed into the human to make the humans real. And then the vapor is the Garden of Eden, which is to get turned on or flipping a switch. So Eden is heaven on earth, where we're going to now. Whereas when we came in, right, way back then, in the Garden of Eden, the vapor was like turning a switch on, activating you. So going from the ether of the breath to the vapor of the Garden of Eden, and then it would go into the breath coming out of the human being born, into the four elements of the earth. So when I looked up the elemental chart, so gold is 79, which I always see 79 as the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so that makes sense. And then platinum is a 78, which is the end of the deck, right? So everyone sees platinum as the most valuable metal. But actually gold is above platinum, and above gold is Mercury. So gold, remember, is the G in the old, the God, the ancient one. And platinum is humanity's silver platter. The definition of platinum in these words is the silver platter, the record, to trick and deceive and to pay for it. The Elamites, the silver platter, flat record, and the platy, which is to pay for. It's like having to pay your debt back, you know, like karma. Wide, broad, or broadly, to pay for, pay. Plate, to trick, deceive. Salary, plateau, or expansion, or bill, or reward. So again, having to pay a bill or having to pay for a reward. And then NUM is, of course, number. It's also man, male, person, human being. Matured, humanity, or I'm not sure if that's matured, but humanity, someone, and now, weather, heather, and name. I love this. Highland and Highlander comes up as NUM. So platinum has to do with the Highlander here, which also the definition here is the Elam, the Elamites, and fly, to be high, elevated, to be early or upper. And heather is that color of purple with a tint of pink and blue, which is very much the upper chakras energies. And the symbol for Sumerian is the Elam. And the picture looks like a diamond ring on its side. So Elama came up there with the southwest Iran before 3000 BC, the capital Susa. So the Elamites are also referred to as the Susianas as well, as in Susie. And notice Elam is very close to Elon. So we have the energy of the humanity now to pay, bill, or reward, salary, plateau, or expansion, to expand in other ways. Heather, Highlander, or purple, pink, and blue, now to be early, high, fly, elevated, like a diamond in the sky, or the ring pop. And then I looked up the breakdown of silver as well. And silva is the forest trees or a particular area. Blackberry forest, orchard, or grove. Silver, one who forests orchards or groves. Firewood, beams, frames, and boards, thresholds, timbers, sills, and foundations. The rainforest and the jungle. So silver is number 47, which is that 4 to 7 of the lower chakra system from the heart to the crown. And the weight of silver is 107.87, and it's AG. And then I wrote down the definitions for SIL and VER as well. So vert comes up again in VER, and to pay, and the wild boar, to bore through things, as well as the scent, the nose. Wind, air, weather, so all about the lungs, the breath, and I told you that the bra line came up, because the bra line connects your lungs to your throat chakra. And then the nose, which of course is scent. So silver is yellowish sap, rain or strainer, husk. Will, all to separate, the wheat from the chaff, the flow from the sky, the eagle, the seal, and the cow. Arch, mint, pant and palpitate. Oasis, to be spring, green, and truth. To see oneself and pay in blood. To clear the air, wind, weather, and scent. All about breathing in the sea. The line in the water made by an oar, which is gold or God, right? The oar there. The distant will, the rain to the sea. The water clears the air. The emotions clear the thought. Okay, so the energy of the rain, the snow, right? When you know there's toxins in the air, you wait for the rain and snow to come first before feeling good out there, because it attaches to it and then pulls it into the ground, which isn't good either, but it's not in your air anymore. The rain and the snow take the toxins out of the air. So Mercury is number 80, which is the zero energy backing up the number 8 of the dance, the manifestation of dreams, which is considered quicksilver. But also Mercury is the sea cure at the Y in the road, or the sea cook at the Y in the road, and also salts. And salts is say LT, which LT is also light, long ton Lithuania, as well as lieutenant may come up for that as well. But remember Sophia, say Sophia, is the S and then the O-Phi of Ophiuchus, but also the So-Phi, so expansive and contractive and reflective all at the same time. And the A is the source embodiment of the human in connection with others. So that is the Sophia, to say light, to say LT, the salt of the earth. The 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, clearing the airs for us. And the 78 is the 10 of Pentacles, right? That's that heaven on earth family of the platinum, which includes silver in it, the lower chakra system. So it's like 78 is paralleling the chakra 10 is platinum, but the 11th chakra would then be the gold at the mouth. But then the 12th chakra would come up as the 80, which is the Mercury and Quicksilver, which is the sea cure, the sea cook. So the 80 is destiny with source to dance with creator, infinity and beyond. And the C and the 2 and the Y in the road, which is the 0 point field. To see 2, the warrior and the hero at the Y in the road, which is that twin flame energy. So it's very interesting the way these are paralleling the things that have come up. So the 10 of Pentacles, or the 78 of Platinum, is the heaven on earth energy of the family on earth, right? The material part of it, the mass part of it. Whereas the gold is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? The connection to the other side. But then the 80 is the Mercury, the Quicksilver, the flow of God, to be in the flow, to be in that 0 point perpetually at the Y in the road, and be the salt of the earth at the same time. The alt of salt comes up here as the high pitch, the top treble state of excitement or heightened emotion. The alternative or altitude, an Altbeer, which is a German beer, so Germany came up a couple times. The low part, the bottom as well, as you see things are talked about as high and low. The altus, which is to grow and nourish. High, tall, older, elderly. Alto, gold, woman singing or playing. Contralto as well, or the alto part, which is actually more of a low woman's voice, right? So all top summit from underneath, joint, juncture, knuckle, hillock, bit, section, paragraph, clause, articulate, and ray vine, and then stop. So after the ray of the vine, which the vine is the Kundalini rising, and the articulation of that, which articulation also comes up as the book's binding, right? Being able to weave back together, but still have space between each other, and then stop. Sometimes everything, anything already, neuter. Bye, hun. Love you. Neuter, old, and then PA German came up as well again. The middle pitch of the hunting dog. The alto, or the alt key. The enthusiasm, gusto. The otter and the article also coming up here. So Sophia's range of emotion. Both treble and alto came up here, and the gold. The summit, the old, the juncture, the articulate, the ravine, and stop. A key to altered states of excitement or consciousness, emotion, to grow and nourish. At 1251, the Hanging Man and the King of Swords. So remember that Hanging Man and King of Swords stuff, because it's interesting the way they came up today. So Madame Curie, of course, came up with Mercury and a female alternative doctor, right? The house, the dog, the watchdog is cure, to growl, grumble, inferior dog, or inferior person or ass. I run, I flow, I clean, dear beloved heart, sowing, planting, burial, course, round and set. the number 2. And it was interesting the language that came up and the symbolism of that, because it looks like 2 different kinds of J's and then M, or it could be a backward C, a J and a backward C and then an M and an N, which is the Mary Jesus energies for me. And that's in the language jury, J-U-R-I as in jury. To put, give, asshole came up there, the hero and the warrior, falling of snow, raining, throwing, pouring, sending, placing and setting. So Mercury is greater than gold because Mercury is the expansion of God, right? So if God is just God, God would never expand. But Mercury represents the expansion of gold, or the salt of the earth, which is the ear to the nth degree, the sea cookie, or sea biscuit. Sophia's growth of the ear to the nth degree. So it's all about the lungs here and going up into the throat and the ears. So the gold is the go and the LD of the logarithm, which logarithm is word and rhythm, poetry and song. The gold inspires you to write and sing about what could be, or Mercury. Madame Curie, the female healer. Me, our heart, at the Y in the road, or 0 point field. I cure as the sea of Christ, the sea of the ocean, and the seeing with your eyes, at the Y in the road. The emotions on the whispering bench, to see the energetic exchange, or the hours of love, of the letters coming up here as ECS, of the E, which is 1 equal congruent to the C and the S, which is the Christos Sophia, or the whispering bench, and the sine wave. The Chris, to so phi, and the dear human key of energy exchange is to so reflect, which is phi. Phi is that expansion, contraction, or reflecting in the middle. So the dear human key of energy exchange is to so reflect the human connection and condition and beyond. So that was very cool. All right. So next one. And by the way, this came up with that read too. That was at the tail end there. All right. So the next one is here. And at the top is the Shaman Dreams deck. And then Shaman Dreams, Nature's Whispers, the Energy deck, and then at the bottom is the Wild Unknown and the half deck of Shaman, of Rider-Waite rather. Sorry about that. So let me just pull that in a little bit, see if I can see the pictures better. Wait a minute. Now on this phone is not right. All right. Okay, so again, 3 cards and then whatever I had to count on the other side. So this was done yesterday at 119 to 124. I pulled all the decks, which is the Sun, Judgment, the World, the Fool, and the King and Queen of Wands. And first thing I saw when I looked at the cards there was visa. So I don't know if someone's trying to get a visa to go to another country. But that was coming up as very significant here in the past life deck. This may be coming up as a wound for you if you're trying to get a visa, not being able to leave the country or not being able to get into a country, perhaps trying to get to your family in the past and not being allowed in. And so there may be a very bad connotation of the credit card for you because it all has to do with your visa status. We had the numbers at the end with the cards I had to count, 232223 and 232256. So there's no gematria with that, but it's very significant for the 23 of the King of Wands and the 22 of the Fool's Journey and the guidance here regarding the inner self. The King of Wands, Fool, and the King of Wands again. So this can be like the King of Wands has the Fool's Journey to himself, or another fire sign perhaps, or the guidance with the Empress. The King of Wands' is journey to the Two of Swords of his knowing and balance and peace of mind. The journey of the 2s and the 3s of polarity and abundance, and the mediation, as well as getting the 3 is coming up as half of the leap, as taking the feminine in small doses. So not being able to take in the feminine energy all at once, but doing it in 2 leaps instead of 1. Or 1.5 and 1.5, which referenced before last week in the 120 over 80 and 120 over 80, which is normal blood pressure, so 2 humans, or starting with Aries, the King of Wands, and removing the blindfold for Aries, where then as Leo is coming up removing the sunglasses, and for Saggy it's removing the blinders, right, on the horse. So that was very cute the way that was coming up. So first we're starting with Aries, King of Wands, and removing the blindfold. And the underlying energy at 131, and 31 is the group, it's the 5 of Wands, and the competition, but it also can be playing and having fun. It can be both ends. The communal living card came up reversed here with the 3 of marriage and the devil, 15. The 49 of the woman of light, which is the 9 of cups, of getting your wish. The hawk and the lovers, number 6. So the communal living being a problem in your past, perhaps in a marriage or community property of abundance. The empress or mother, having control of it perhaps. The devil on fire with woman of light. So there's a lot of passion here for the woman of light, or codependent relationship of man with fire from below and woman of light from above, and the bird clearing the way, or the skies and the air, with or for the divine lovers, or runway show of twins. At 136, which is then Atlas here, and there's that energy of ATL coming up. Taurus, Capricorn, and Gemini are twins here, or Capricorn and Gemini in abundant marriage splitting up or clearing airwaves, and or a twin leaving a marriage to come together with their twin or Gemini. At 138 is the leap to the Queen of Cups, or the masculine in the Queen of Cups, and the issues with communal living or shared property, or with Celtic past. Neanderthal man comes up with that card again as well, which if you haven't seen the picture of the Neanderthal man, you have to look. So not the last one I posted, but the one before that. There's a picture of Jesus and the giant, but there's also a smaller picture on that tag with the clouds of Neanderthal man, and it is so clear. He's got the big nose and everything. I should have posted the picture too that shows you what Neanderthal man looked like, because his nose was much bigger and rounder than the Homo sapien man. And it's 3:37 on the clock, which is bringing up the Empress and the King of Cups, or the Christ energy in the King of Cups of unconditional love, as it just turned to 338, which is a significant number for me, but that's also Christ and Mary Magdalene. So going from the Christed energy of self-love to love of the other, the higher self, and again the Hanged Man, as Easter's coming up, and the issues of communal living and Celtic past, of Neanderthal man and religious ties of trust and faith, with the sun at your back, but flame may be missing here. It's like the Statue of Liberty without the flame in her hand, or the 3D perspective, and the flame can't be seen in Lady Liberty's hand, or was it stolen from their right hand, as the left with the wing and light, as wounds of leaving or travel haunt, or past returns or homecoming and a need to travel, or you thought they were gone for good, but they have returned, or living out of a suitcase is coming up as a wound here, and the issues with authority figures, or the need to put your foot down, and the wound of the quote-unquote final word, like on the game show. And final word, you can't take it back once it's final. A need for magic in your gavel, with problems with powers that be taking your rights away from thee, with no recourse, galactically as well, or homes that were bombed or demolished in the past, having faith that there was a space for you, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Someday, somehow, somewhere. And I'm just getting this now. Literally, the twins literally being blasted into different homes, like they would never find each other again. They were blasted out into space and ended up on totally different planets or different universes. Perhaps your originating planet no longer exists. Regarding the planet of the apes and the baby in the cage left hanging at the end, and where to ship them to now. right? Or maybe the baby got separated from the parents and never knowing their lineage, taken to a whole nother world and not having any idea where they're really from. So again, adoption may be coming up as a wound here as well. So 149 is the masculine wound and the 49 of one getting their wish, or are they? And the cards came up here as the baby reversed, the mother reversed, and then the male and female back to back who can't agree on mother and child. And the wound of having the other's family live with you, or how many children to have, or deciding on whether the child should stay or go if they're acting up and they're destroying the home. So again, there's this wound and how the child and the mother have come between the couple, or learning to acclimate to each other's energies here at 151, the masculine and the King of Swords. Also Catholicism coming up as a controlling factor, specifically Celtic, German, Netherlands, Highlands, Portugal, West Virginia came up, as well as PA German, France, and Venezuela, and Catholicism specifically. So at 156 is the leap to the Two of Swords with two cards here, which were Asia reversed, I was just getting Asia minor, and biblical upright. With Asian influence, that's a factor here, a biblical proportion, the carpenter working hard with Asian or Chinese control, being called yellow, is a wound here, right, of being called cowardice, or the issues with those of strong solar plexus confidence, or wearing their quote-unquote gold or wealth and power on their sleeve, or their sari. And notice how sari sounds. So a sari is a permanent ongoing female apology, bowing down to man. So if she wears a sari, she's perpetually apologizing and bowing down to the man. Or trouble getting a visa to get into Israel or Asian nations here. Or Arabs working hard on agreements with Asian countries who may be being difficult or resistant. Wanting to hold on to power due to the cowardice yellow wound. Maybe a mother and child differences here. Or dorm living here. Or male-female wound of parents being fought. This is a male-female wound of parents being fought out by the opposite gender child. So in other words, fighting, like the mother fighting with the son, or the father fighting with the daughter. Or a wound of living in a hole in the wall. So if you call your place a hole in the wall, it's a wound from living in the caves on the mountain. Referencing a cave, a mountain, or wounds of communal living, without any alone time, and sick of being controlled by others' energies, right? Because you never have your own space. Just like someone who's alone craves being with someone or wants a partner. The family of many, which many families were, they lived together, longed to be alone, right? To have their own space. So at 204 is the feminine and the emperor, or the cue and the lambda leap, or the cue of when to leap. The underlying energy of the three of the marriage dance, of life and death, and doctor and patient. The mortician and embalming, and I was just getting the Montagues and the Capulets. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, and the sarcasm and wit, or intwit. Or someone being called a twit or a nitwit. And then I was getting killing them softly with their song. The officials in power to heal and control, the perp and the savior, and narcissistic behavior of both. Going back to dance with false person, or marital tango and the first dance of the one of the main male. And then the 18 of daddy's little girl. I forgot about that. I wasn't even thinking of the second dance. But so initially I was getting the energy of the first dance of the main male with her feeling like a little girl, right? So he's the man at the wedding, but she's still a little girl, right? Because this is her father giving her away. And the second dance is literally daddy's little girl. And the moon child. And the lovers or family breakthrough of the moon and the sun. The moon to the sun. And the King of Wands clearing the dark clouds for the sun to come through, in the martyr being released from the cage, or their chains, their own chains, or being released from their work. The key to their worth, but when I went to write worth, it wrote worse, right? That it could be worse. So the King of Wands clearing the dark clouds for the sun to come through in the martyr of being released from the cage or their own chains or their work, the key to worth or worse, an exchange of hands, perhaps a purchase of a business or purchase of a family's daughter as part of the business trade, trading of queens or sovereign versus dependency, a new passion or inspired by unexpected income or incoming, or health insurance rebates, or the death of an old leadership or decorated fire. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Aries here, and the King of Cups home, or the Emperor King of Cups exposing all, or a group trip, offer of a new life, or filing paperwork, the King of Wands and the courts, or McDreamy with sudden thoughts of her, with paintbrushes in his cup or briefcase, and sudden thoughts of marriage, or Scorpio and Taurus here, and at 2:14, which was Valentine's Day, the feminine and the Q, and the 14 of the temperance or the angels, which was really funny right at that moment. Teddy was standing there staring at me, and he was making me laugh. So at 2:18, and again, the feminine, the higher self, the Q, and the leap to the 18 of the source of life, the 18 of the purple moon, the 18 of the coming of age, right? And a lot of fixed Leo, Scorpio, Taurus energies here. But what was missing? There was no Aquarius in the age of Aquarius. So the north and south nodes influence here, with the north node Taurus and the south and Scorpio letting go of things that no longer serve us. And the first cards here of 43, 37, and 12 coming together from all different directions. The King of Cups, Emperor, son of the Emperor, or Scorpio who's impoverished, without wise, privileged lady, number 12, or wise one, or hanging out with them, or needing to hang out with them, or Pisces. Taurus, Scorpio, and Pisces, or mother and child, siblings, aunts, and cousins, or two coming together from two sides of the same coin, or Kohan, which is co-pilots, or co-happiness hotel, or cohabitating in the happiness hotel, of abundance and joy in bringing unconditional love and wisdom together in room 222. Love that. And then at 223, the feminine and the King of Wands, and 223 literally is 2023 because the 2 colons is a 1. Or it can reference source energy, leaping into the human. So we have the energy of the 29, 14, and 29 together here, and the power woman, or hair all done up, perhaps to go to a wedding, or present with gift, perhaps for a party or wedding, or gifts of the truth, or your psychic gifts, and the 14 of Fox, or Fox News, or the wounded warrior, Sagittarius, leaving the hen house, just to end up in prison, or trapped by their own gifts, or gift of the present moment, jumping from the fire into the frying pan, or the dog got out, and then the 29 of the 3 of Wands, and looking out front, and the energy of 28 of the woman looking out back, or to the past, or expected them to tell the truth, with the 12 of the wise community of birds, imprisoned by their gifts and working hard in energetic exchange, of the 34 in a busy job, or occupied by energies or arrows of love, and the 22 of the journey at the Y in the road, of the Queen of Pentacles, 66, and the 18 of the 0-point field, or 144, folding in upon itself to become the 1-8. Cancer, or Page of Cups here, or child, wanting the 10 of Cups family to take the lead or the leash, or destined journey, or high vibe train, where La Vida Loca is, right, the life loca, or the bridge to levitation, which is La Vida Tayan of the Tiger Lioness, or the Top Dog's connection. The Tiger Lioness, or life with the source light on, and the 35 of the wounded warrior's path lined with transformation and butterfly wings. The 23 King of Wands, leaving to stand up to others' messes and or to clean up their own, and the 10 of Destiny to discern which is which, And the high vibe cuts with the Page of Pentacles, or student, child, an invitation or opportunity, or with trouble getting something off the ground, and the romantic journey within, with the Queen of Swords, Hermit, and flowers and gifts, and the Page of Swords transition, perhaps Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Virgo, and Scorpio here. So at 234, or shut the door, and the two of the feminine or higher self and the energetic exchange or arrows of love, the underlying energy of the King of Cups, weak, or with Leo in their chart, or pet, or loving to a fault, or weak with Pisces and Capricorn, or divine feminine with open heart, and fire weakening them. After the King of Wands, keeping cards close about self-satisfaction and getting their way, in 5D connection, or rest, or on break, praying to or for the King of Cups, in need of strength for the divine feminine, or Pisces addiction or codependency, or just needing strength with Pisces and Capricorn, the world, or complete in a cycle with big fire to deal with, the underlying energy of the devil, with lovers as well. Now remember that 2023 is about the King of Wands, because it's about the imbalance of his fire, which is really coming up here. So now we have the underlying energy of the devil, with the lovers as the first card, which is the same card in dark and light, and a big passion with truth to independence or sovereign, and Capricorn and Gemini with truth to, or maybe they're giving the truth to their independent child, or about their own independence of being free in a divorce, or now single and tempted to offer love as the Knight of Cups, or truth is out about the Nine of Pentacles sovereign and the Knight of Cups. All right, so that can be truth about twins or children or an affair that someone in a breakup is having. And then at 240 is the 2 of the feminine and the 40 of the Page of Cups, the underlying energy being the 3 of the burning hero. After the 15 of the mother praying, the dark mother, which is the chakra of the 11 according to Ascension Glossary. The 10 and the 10th chakra. So now the chakras are coming up here. And remember 13, 14, 15 on Ascension Glossary is the triad of the Godhead. So below that is the 10, 11, 12. And again, for me, they're really densities. So if the density is really the long-term energies of consciousness as opposed to mass, then these would be the densities as opposed to dimensions, because dimensions are unlimited in every direction, right? You can have many parallel dimensions as well as vertical dimensions, depending on the density that you're in. So again, everyone has a different perspective on that. And again, from where they are, they may all be correct depending on their perspective and where they're coming from. But that was coming up here. So the burning hero of the 3, and that can reference the triad of the Godhead, after the 15 of that top number, 15 of the mother prays, the 11 comes up in Ascension Glossary as the dark mother clearing her silver to gold, basically, which I talk about in motherhood, right? So being born with the gold coin and the pink or green if you're feminine or masculine, but that the mother loses her gold coin when she gives birth, giving all of herself to her child, and then doesn't gain back her gold coin until she learns to love herself again. So the 10 is coming up here as the chakra that governs all. It's like the top dog energy of 3 to 1, and then 0, which is blast off, right? And then the 25 of the Knight of Wands in the seat of the moment, and the 49 of the Woman of Light. In the dance of the planets, which is the play nets, the grids. And the 56 of the 2 in the vortex and the cyclone, both at the same time. The 33 of the Christ energy, where God speaks through us as them. And the 15 of the Mother who prays for the 3 of the burning hero, or to be the burning hero, or God speaks directly to Capricorn, Taurus, Libra, or Mother and her Son of abundance, destined to come together and leap as the 25 Knight of Wands in the seat of the heart with the question mark. The 49 of the 9 of Cups to the Woman of Light, or Lady Liberty here, getting straight to the heart of it, questioning where her light comes from, and is it the devil? Or is it through the dark or shadow comes the light? Okay, and then Dark Shadows was just coming up. And Barnabas Collins again. And now Joan Collins. And I always get Barnabas Light always comes up. and Beach Haven with Barnabas Collins. So maybe there's something in Long Beach Island that's going on. I don't know. But the 4 of Simplicity at 247, the High Priestess, and the 47 of the 7 of Cups, and the Heart to the Crown, and the 4 of the Emperor, but also stability, and that Lambda Leap of Simplicity of the Emperor, the Mouse, the Bird, and the Blade of Grass. The stability with these 35 of the Wounded Warrior, and the intimacy of surrendering of the King of Wands across the waters as that shining golden light to the Lady in Waiting in the wall of the Cyclone. The 12 of that 1-2 punch of the 12th chakra, binding to the root and the sacral, of wisdom and self-initiation through the waters and the emotions, that in the tunnel, not the end of the tunnel, is the place to be. Intimacy and intuition, initiation, and in the top dog of the I am, seeing the Y in the road, in the Twin Towers, or the temper tantrum, or the pi connection of the 2 T's, of the you and I connection. In it, I at connection. So again, the intimacy is Tim is the top dog of I am, and the C of the whispering bench at the Y in the road, and the intuition is the Twin Towers of you and I connection. And then the initiation is the in it, I am at the connection. The 14, again, of the old cycle, and the falling light as a feather, and heather, which is that purple, pink, blue. It's simple to allow yourself to fall into love here. The fallen angel. Okay, so 14 is the temperance card. Losing patience and balance and allowing yourself to fall. But if you become light as a feather, it's no big deal. If you become the heather as opposed to the feather, you come into the purple, pinks, and blues. It's simple to allow yourself to fall into love. At 252, the feminine and the Queen of Swords, and the wolf. And I was just getting Peter and the wolf. I haven't thought of that in a long time. And the wolf is the 2 U's and the OLF. I was just getting the false light. LF, though, can also represent the left side, or the feminine. So it could be a feminine wolf there that they're talking about. But, and right there, Teddy was staring at me again because he wanted to go you know where. So we have the energy of staring and shark attacks and the fish out of water and the scorpion stinger out with their clamps and the hawk's tail as the hawk takes off to clear the way. Was half fish, so it's coming up as H-A-F-I-S-H. Was a fish, or was half fish, and score pi on hawk. So they scored, someone scored pi, which is half and half, on the hawk. So half pi, and that could be someone throwing a pie in someone's face as well. So at 255, again, the feminine or the Q, and the 55 of the truth and the sword, the cobra, buffalo, frog, and worm, on high alert and ready for the hawk. And then, was it red hawk down and black hawk down? Both came up the other day. On high alert. And is it a hawk or is it an eagle, right? Because sometimes it's hard to tell up in the sky. But again, it's about being ready. The buffalo is well grounded here. The frog is in the rain, so again, that's that energy of the toxic air falling down on people's heads, coming up from Ohio. And again, hence his warts. Transmuting all the dirt in the air for vulnerable worm or nervous stomach or system. Perhaps someone's on cobra right now, in between jobs. And buff, stable, but frog is learning or longing to be a prince one day. And intimidated by Mr. Ed, or perhaps extra dimensionals, or education that may be needed. Swans reflecting and lizard sensitive to what the raccoon's going through. So at 258, again, the feminine and the 4 of swords, or the rest break, or 5D connection. with the King and Queen of Wands, but looking opposite ways. He's looking to the past, and she's looking to the High Priestess, connecting with Dark Knight, or Pisces, or Virgo, and Scorpio, to the King of Pentacles. Or Dark Knight is the King of Pentacles, admiring the Divine Feminine, Pisces, or the world. Or maybe they're admiring their neighbor, or the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles here, who mean the world to each other. And the King and Queen of Wands, or Queen of Wands, may be looking at, why can't I have that relationship? Could be Scorpio and Pisces here. And then the Queen of Pentacles, Hermit or Virgo or Advisor, with the Nine of Pentacles, Sovereign, and the Empress or Mother and Daughter here. And the Page of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn here, or Wealthy Family, Free, or Capricorn in Court to free themselves, perhaps from a Gemini here. And we're at about 301, 302, around there. So that could be a date that's coming up for you. Or free by or from Libra lover, or Libra freed by love, or mediating Capricorn, Aries, and Gemini, perhaps a grandmother present. At 304, or the Emperor and the Empress with space between, the King of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Perhaps Gemini with a message or delivery from the Queen of Cups, or twins, King of Swords and Queen of Cups. And the Knight of Wands may be rushing back with an opportunity of passion, growth, or creativity, or a message of love. Or the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups, but the wounded warrior is defensive, and the Page of Cups is happy with themselves, and someone can't sleep or is distraught. And there are triple nines here, or kids getting on your nerves. And triple nines is 27 too, so it could be a Ace of Wands reversed. And again, a lot of frustration there, or not aroused, not humored by something someone's doing. Or the Chariot and the Knight of Cups manifesting with the Page of Swords or Cancer, and Gemini or Virgo traveling or helping someone to move. The Queen of Swords and King of Cups and Page of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles may be helping out the Emperor. Or kids are all coming over and the Emperor's now annoyed at 308, which is the Empress and the Dance or Strength. And that can be Taurus and Leo also, butting heads with space between. And the Knight of Cups with the Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Cups, and Page of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles, so a lot of people right here. Along with the Six of Cups, who could be some of them, or they could be totally separate. With the Two of Pentacles, Two of Knights, and the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups, inspired to help the Six of Cups soulmates or kids, and or they're all helping out the Emperor here. At 308 and then 310, which is Source energy backing up the 3 and the 1. And again, remembering to leap from the 3 to Source before dealing with the new cycle here. Okay. So then I wanted to bring up, when I'm talking about the beams through your head, so this is a quick drawing I was doing just to give you an idea of what I was talking about. So there's this beam, right, straight back through your third eye, and then here's the unicorn beam through the fourth eye here, and then from the crown down to your system, and then the one that's across from ear to ear. And this is the same ones that I was drawing over here, but then the one from ear to ear comes up. And again, the energy of how they're placed in the chakra system was coming up, and how there's lots of different triangles that come together. Right, so from the third eye to the two eyes, from the fourth eye to the two ears, they all come to, and then the crown to the pituitary and the pineal. Like there's all these different triangles that come together in the head regarding this system of electric and energetic currents going through, and all based in the pineal gland and the third chakra. The sixth chakra. Remember that there's two separate things, right? Because the pineal gland is an organ, whereas the sixth chakra is the energetic system there. So, oh, and watch also Tara. I brought up Tara before. She channels Saint Germain mostly, but she channels some others at times. And she has some great videos. She's a nurse, so she's very educated on the parts of the body, so she's able to describe her experience on how she awakened. So one of the videos was about, she described her awakening from the thymus or the high heart, And again, she calls the fourth chakra, or I feel like it's the ninth chakra, is the mouth of God or the well of dreams and the back of the head. And she just calls them what she calls them based on what she experienced. But it was good for me because I was able to parallel her description with what typical chakra it relates to. So she talked about the ear chakras and the base of the feet, which is really relating to the Earth Star chakra, and also the hands. Remembering that the heart, for me, I told you the other day that the heart was coming up as anger, and usually you talk about anger being stored in the liver, but it also comes up in joints as well, because things like ego and things like that have anger attached to them. So all the joints have some kind of anger in them, but is mainly considered the liver. But the heart also processes anger, which was interesting. She brought that up. And the heart's connected to the hands and all sorts of things. So there's lots of stuff going through the heart first before going to being processed to the organs. So yeah, check her out. Again, Tara, what's your last name? Let me pull it up real quick. I love her for teaching these things because she really gives you good definitions in a practical way on how the body works and that kind of thing. And just on basic life as opposed to something technical or spiritual. Let's see if I have her up here. Oh, Arnold. I just remembered her last name. Tara. It's Tara Arnold. So if you haven't checked her out, check her out. And again, there's some old videos that explain all this stuff, so you might want to go back in her channel and see what interests you. All right, so the next one, and we are at 211. And my daughter was she was doing an audition. She was doing some audition pictures with Teddy, and they're so cute. Aww. They're so cute. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my daughter's pictures because I can't just go by them. I'm looking for my other picture, though. That's just one of the pictures I'm in. They were really cute. I'm just trying to find my next pic. Okay, so this is the one. Wait a minute, I missed this one. So this is the shaman dreams. What was the last one? I don't know, but I showed you this one already. How did I miss one? Oh, that was the past life deck. I must have missed a picture here somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, this is the one I showed you this one already. So the one I just read for you was the one that started with the past life deck. And now is this one here. Okay, so that one starts with the... I just showed you this one already. So I showed you this one for the last one, but that last one was actually the one that starts with the past life deck, the brown deck. And the one I'm reading you now is this one that I just showed you. It starts with the Shaman Dreams deck and then Nature's Whispers. And I still have another one after this. So I don't know how many I read for you. I had 5. Sorry, let me just get this in the right place. Okay, so this one was done, so I did 2 yesterday. So this was done yesterday at 5:15 to 5:19. So the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is the devil, the tower, the star, the moon, and the sun. And the cards at the end of the piles were 10111, and then also 10178 came up. And it was coming up as the 101, which is like a dinner place setting, right? You have the plate in the middle and the silverware on either side, and the energy of the columns was coming up past this as well, so that was significant. And the other number that came up earlier was 11011, and now we have 101, so it's very much the energy of the circle in the middle and then the two pillars on either side. The energy of truth and balance and aligned for dinner and the setting. The 78 of the Page of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and the world as well, heaven on earth. Destined justice of 1. Destined high vibe star dance and magic of heaven on earth. There's a lot of 121s, 1212. So this one starts out with the 14 of the Drifter, which is also Dr. Ifter. And excuse me for just 1 second. I want to take a sip of my water because I'm a little bit parched here. All right, so that first card is Drifter and Dr. Ifter. And the second one is 41. So 14 and 41 are reflecting each other right away, which is the Temperance card, the Angel, and then the 41 is the Ace of Cups, or the Holy Grail. To be in service, and the 2 of the Journey in the feminine, the Beaver, and then the King of Swords, 51, where the patient angel is just flowing along, and the Ace of Cups with the octopus teacher with their seahorse, teaching them the light with the Holy Grail, and that energy of the 2 cups and a string, you know, like the original phone, is coming up as the 2 ears and the mouth, but that also comes up as the horizontal and vertical pillars, right? So the ears are coming up as a horizontal pillar, whereas the Holy Grail I usually talk about is from the womb to the heart in a vertical pillar. And again, the mouth of God coming up here. So again, the Holy Grail as the 2 cups and a string, as in a phone. And again, the cup is something to drink with, right? To swallow with, the throat and the mouth. And then here's the ones for the ears, and it's all intertwined, right, in the same system. And again, remember, when you drink, everything's going down to your stomach, which is where the solar plexus, quantum entanglement energy is, and transmuting that food that you eat or the things that you drink. So the womb to the solar heart, and then the patient angel in the divine feminine lineage, and the 2 of the divine feminine and higher self, and the journey across the bridge to grandmother's house, which is so funny because then Dorothy came up from the Wizard of Oz, but my grandmother's name is Dorothy. So the journey across the bridge to grandmother's house, where Dorothy is packed and enjoying the view, being ready just in case and needs to move quickly. Oh my God, that's so weird. I can't tell you that yet, but I'll tell you about that maybe next time. Definitely talking about babies though. So Dorothy packed and is enjoying the view, being ready just in case and needing to move quickly. And I told you my grandmother Esther came through last year in one of the grandkids, and Dorothy's just telling me now that she's coming through. So that's interesting, because she came up last year too, that she was helping my other grandmother. So, or suspended animation in midair, or stuck on bridge when the gates are closing, and on the way to see Beaver or the mountains, where the King of Swords is working hard, protected by the mountains and the waterways, and patience for new love with higher self and divine feminine, and the mid-bridge waiting for the Beaver, the King of Swords, to come out of the woods. You know, and the beaver loves the woods because you get to build and build and build, and they love to do that. So it's hard to get them distracted to come out of the woods. So at 607, which is the Lovers and then the Chariot, the underlying energy of the 48 and the Sky Dancers after the Winter's Dream, and the surrender of the 29 and the Horned Cactus with the gift of resourcefulness. The 60 of the Watchers, and remember 60 is the 6 of Swords and finding peace. And the Tyon Totem of transpersonal connection. The 14 of the Drifter, Dr. Ifter, walking away and within and surrendering to the cactus. And here's someone drifting down waterways, and then we're dealing with a cactus, which is totally dry, and being present with gifts and natural protection of all the things that stick out of them, and the peaceful desert with Tony the tiger, and patience experiencing life as it comes, with cactus and totem waiting for ship to come in, the 4 of the caterpillar and the 62 of the will-o'-the-wisp, the magenta and pink, rose pink, and the indigo, cat and spine released in the shadows, and the patience with emperor or stability, and anxiety versus release, an opportunity for treasures here. With 59 and 33, the 5 of swords and the 7 of wands in the inner war of the Christed vibration, ending the martyrdom in the wailing tree, in reconciliation with the joyful muse and inspiration. At 622, the lovers and the fool's journey, or the fool, in that leap of faith. With one card here, the 23, King of Wands, and Fortune's Wheel, of luck and right timing, of Sagittarius inspired to end the war, and the Pilate versus Jesus. So Pilate as versus Herod being the middleman here. Pilate versus Jesus as Easter again approaches. So at 624, the lovers and the Queen of Wands, the underlying energy of the first card here, the 1 making a wish, and 21 of a fresh approach. So here we have those 1 2s again, 1 2 1, and then card 2. So it's 1, 21, and 2. The masculine and the feminine, and the completion of the world between, making a wish with a fresh approach to the 2, to the masculine and feminine connection, hanging out together in the magician's world, the high priestess and higher self, where he prays for her and she prays for the world, with higher self illumination of butterflies and the dark side of the moon, or Pisces or Cancer, bringing them home as Gemini and Sag are making wishes and blowing kisses, with white wishes and blue kisses to keep their dreams alive. At 629 is the lovers and the 3 of wands, and the 20 of the higher ground, and the Highlander, as Jack and the Beanstalk, the fairy and her giant rose. A wake-up call, and you just say the fairy and her giant rose. So I'm talking about a huge rose, right, where she's on the top of the rose, whereas Jack's on the top of his beanstalk. But we just said here that Jack and the Beanstalk and the fairy and her giant who just woke up, he rose. A wake-up call to sleep below, or excuse me, to the sheep below, and the renewal of peace in transition of the baby in the nook, where spring is coming, so look for a gift beneath the tree, to be in service to the little ones, to feed and water each day, where roses may jump by leaps and bounds, or transplanting to higher ground, perhaps some new purple as the ship comes in, and the 37 of 636 of lovers and Atlas and unconditional love, and the ideal course of action as the King of Cups brings a village to help with the water perhaps, or to bring water to where there is none, like the desert, and the loving divine feminines with natural adornments on their heads, with octopus with shells and iguana lady down Mexico way, and the 26 of the Page of Wands from under the sea to half in and half out, to the Page of Wands lion's heart, to be true to your earthy butterfly lion's heart who's completely on the ground, with golden crown and flowers by the sea, with crystal communication device that ships and this is so there's this energy of one fully immersed under the water, one half in the water and half out, and then the one who's really earthy on the ground, not in the water at all, but by the water. The earthy butterfly lion's heart with golden crown and flowers by the sea, with crystal communication device, that a ship's been spotted on the horizon and is coming in. The 5 of clearing out the old to be free and expand. And at 643, the lovers coming together in the underlying energy of the 11 of 1 and 1 in the cornucopia. Perhaps dinner is being served. After the 53 of the Knight of Swords magician, and the 35 of the wounded warrior, and the root chakra and Archangel Michael. Perhaps they had it out after the King of Pentacles, or the man with the coin came together, with the Sun and Magician number 1, to partner up, perhaps Gemini and Sagittarius, as a female may have left here with a new passion for them, or wise temple path, or inspired to wake up to the garden of prayer with the Knight of Swords, perhaps Saggy and Pisces and Gemini here. An old man and roots, an abundance of sunshine or justice here, an appreciation for the shadow mother or the dark mother, slowly becoming the gold, or Capricorn and 39 Knight of Cups, with the 5th chakra activated, the throat, and Archangel Gabriel. With the throat chakra activation, or the mouth of God, number 9, and mercurial trumpeting to the 52 of the goddess of the moon, Lady Liberty. The trumpeter and Lady Liberty, or divine masculine, and his life lesson in the victory of the path of the twin, with the angel of balance within the 36 of Atlas and the weight of the world on their shoulders, and the 2nd chakra of Archangel Ariel, or children who are finally on their way, crossing their own bridges and perhaps independent. And notice that chakras 1, 2, and 5 came up here, or chakras 11 and 12. The dark mother purifies to get the gold coin back and speaks from the heart, as 11 from the horse's mouth, as 12 is the child, that 1-2 punch to collapse 1-2 into the earth star chakra as 1, and after the 6-9-8 pod, between the high heart of the 8 and the mouth of God 9, they speak together as 11, replacing number 5. As 11 is 2, and 2 reflects 5, as 25 and 52 reflect each other, as the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords, and 25 and 52 equals 77 together, or the sovereign child. The divine masculine and feminine, and the 2-1/3 world of abundance. At 702, the chariot and the divine feminine, or higher self, with space between. And that's also the 7 and the 2 of the boomerang and the Q. Okay, and boomerang can reference the Nova experience. And again, having been flung out of your universe just to come back, 1,000, 2,000 years later. And the 2 of the Q, which of course represents the egg and the sperm, or the sword and the stone. The vehicle of the 2 and the space between. And the first cards here of 24, 21, and 31, which is the Queen of Wands, Omega, and the Pleiades, and adjacent possibilities of the world of the divine feminine and divine masculine. Of the 21, remember here, which is the world card, is the 2 of the Q and the 1 of the leap, or the Q and the leap in 2 parts, taking in the divine feminine in 2 parts, or as number 3. The 3-1 is the 2 parts of the feminine, 2 leaps, instead of 1 whole big leap, and then the 1. So that's the leap up to God after dealing with the feminine 2 parts, and then leaping back in for a new cycle as the door to value opens up, touching base with the 4, or the lambda leap, the strategy of source before, or strategizing with source before starting over with number 1 and making magic. So the first card here is the 34 of the door to personal healing and happiness, bringing the outdoors in. The 3 to 4 of the solar heart, and the 2 parts of the divine feminine and the leap to home before starting fresh with the window wide open and the dove set free. You see, we no longer need that kind of magic. With fiery Pisces, with strategy of the Pleiadian world, with strategy for us, but we must decide what's most valuable to us first before heaven on earth. Beautiful inside and out. And 3-4, remember, is coming up as the solar heart, the solar plexus in the heart, but it's also coming up as the 3rd and 4th eyes being activated. So at 7-11, again, the chariot and justice, or the 2 aligned, because 7-11 can mean the same thing as 7 and 2, because 11 reduces to 2. But the 7 and 11 of the chariot and justice, or the ascension of truth and balance and alignment, and the underlying energy of the black egg, which is the throat chakra here, of Bambi, or the new mother, or that beautiful energy but superficial star, speaks the truth by attacking, or a new child who's a shark. And this came up in a show that I was watching. they didn't come up because of it, but they came up mutually exclusive. But there was, I think it was on New Amsterdam, there was a child who was, had no empathy for the other person at all. It was kind of scary to watch it, but this is that energy that was coming up here. The truth by, so there's some kind of superficial person, right? So the beautiful person who never went deep because they got attention so easily. They never really dug into who they were because it's so easy for them to get what they wanted. So there, that energy is coming up. Or perhaps a new mother who just feels totally glowing, but still coming up as superficial, speaks their truth by attacking. Or this could be a new child who's a shark, or birthing a new throat chakra here. Perhaps was a sweet pushover before, and now they've started to stand up for themselves. With the throat chakra and the sacral, 5 and 2, again remember in block numbering, 5 and 2 reflect each other exactly, which is very significant here. Or a seal that's broken, or the biting truth, or a fertile peacock who's beautiful within and out, working hard to keep them out. Perhaps come in as a deer and attacked sexually, right? So they act real sweet and dear to get in, and then were attacked sexually, creatively, or their growth was attacked, or they were literally attacked sexually. The beautiful peacock may have been too hard for them to resist, and does give a damn. And again, this could be someone who broke up with someone and is still trying to resist them because maybe sexually they're still trying to get them, or get them pregnant or something like that. You know, I'll just get in, we'll have sex, and I'll get pregnant, and then they'll have to take me back kind of energy. The beaver's working hard to build a bridge here. And the first card here with the tarantula, zebra, and fish at the crossroads needing to choose direction, with zebra who's eclectic and activated and loves contrast, and the fish out of water who's ungrounded by this. And the cosmic egg here, and the crowning moment, and the Buddhic egg of 12, of the collective awakening and time to activate and plug into the little lamb, or wake up the sheep. As the elephant clears with each step, and the rabbit and raccoons who are anxious and depressed, as the cobra shows up when students are ready. Class, pay attention. The elephant's on the red eye, and the cobra's on high alert. At 7:24, the chariot and the Queen of Wands, or Omega, and the underlying energy of the world of the Divine Feminine, or Queen of Pentacles, or Pisces and Queen of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands, who may be staking their claim, or one travels as the other stays grounded, perhaps one to the sea and the other to the mountains, with Dark Knight and the King of Pentacles, or Scorpio King of Pentacles, or father who's thinking of their soulmate, or what kids would do without them. As word comes in, the Knight of Swords from the King of Cups, or Scorpio and Pisces or Virgo come together as the King of Cups and his children, or message to work and on their way. The King of Cups, High Priestess and Justice, or the Knight of Swords who has their back, while the King of Cups, the High Priestess, Justice, and the Queen of Cups come together, or Pisces and Virgo and Libra, or the King of Cups and Queen of Cups are in court together with testimony, with the Page of Wands and Knight of Pentacles, who went to the Emperor and King of Wands about the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups, who's with the Queen of Cups, as the Knight of Cups offers love to the Temptation, Empress, or Witness, Mother, or Taurus, or Abundant Capricorn is now on the stand, with Empress, Mother, or Taurus, and Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups, that could be children, messages, or pets, or after the Emperor and King of Wands had testimony with kids in private chambers. And again, 732 came up here as well, with the Chariot and the Journey. The Knight of Cups may be offering love, but the Empress and or Capricorn or Witness is not having it on behalf of the Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups. And the Wounded Warrior may be very guarded or pissed off or on defense, and that could be Gemini, King of Swords, or lover of the King of Swords. Could be a fire sign. Or kids with the grandmother, so that the Wounded Warrior and King of Swords lovers can be together. Or this could be or just Gemini, King of Swords. And at 7:38, it's the Chariot and the Queen of Cups now, with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Swords. The King of Swords may be happy with himself. Perhaps there's some arrogance coming off here about it, with one who can't sleep or is stressed or suffering in silence, or his sister. Or the King of Swords came off arrogant and too sure of themselves, maybe, too soon, and then became the Nine of Swords, unable to sleep or with nightmares. And the Two of Cups face to face as the Queen of Wands, perhaps Aries on the warpath, or free to travel or free from travel, with Magician or Gemini, and the Page of Swords messaging. And this could be too, like a new girlfriend being pissed that the child's coming along, or Aries, Cancer, and Gemini or Virgo maybe stepping up or representing themselves. As the Queen of Swords speaks to the Hermit about independent child, or about their independence, or a Hermit's girlfriend who may be independent, or the Queen of Swords to the Nine of Pentacles sovereign to shed light. The Queen of Wands may be free to travel to manifest or work their magic, and this could be travel for work, and Gemini or Virgo message to Virgo, sovereign Nine of Pentacles here. Destined by big shift in a crowning moment of the collective awakening, the Kundalini is plugging in to all the sheep, as the elephants and cobras take care of clearing, and the little ones who need protecting here at 751, the Chariot and the King of Swords. All right, and then my final message of the day. It's a lot today, sorry guys, but I'll number them so you don't have to watch all of them if you don't want. All right, so we have here the mixed deck of Lenormand Reverie and the Kipper on top, and then the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook. The third deck is the the half deck of Rider-Waite, just the characters, and then the bottom is the Metatron deck. So same, and I'll pull this one up for you too. Okay, so this is the read from today. And today is the 19th, and today's energy is the 19 of the Sun, and the day adds up to 28 of the Two of Wands, or the Twin Flames. And not only is it Sunday, but it's the day of the Sun, 19, and the sun was out. So I'd written, plus sun, because I always write that if it's a sunny day out. So we had a triple sun energy here. And that's 2 days in a row. I got up at 9/11. Stretching and lunging, the triple sun. And I pulled these cards. This was supposed to be a shorter read, but I got a very significant message that came in here today. 9, 56, 57, and 58, which is the Two of Swords, Three of Swords, and Four of Swords. You're knowing the separation or the healing, the forgiveness, the apology perhaps. And then the 58 of getting rest, the Four of Swords, or the 5D connection. That can be prayer and meditation as well. And the numbers at the end for the piles came up as 432 and 4311. So 4311 in Gematria came up as win my loyalty and I will shine for you. And 432 was Kayla, Princess Diana, Maya, look right here. And also then the energies of the Three of Cups and Justice, the Emperor and the Empress aligned. And then the 4321, which is the opposite of 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door. So this is the opening of the door. The 43 of coming together because the cycle's complete. The underlying energy of the 22 of the Fool, of the Fool's Journey and the official person, the Snake, the Queen of Pentacles, and the 20 of the Cosmos. So at 10:08, I started with the Metatron deck. And remember, 10:08 is 18, which is that energy of Kai, of life essence. And the official Fool, or the official on the Fool's Journey, in the top-down collective Kundalini clearing, with the Queen of Pentacles as the cosmos mirrors you. In the 20 of the Judgment card here is the dodecadron, which dodeca is 2 and 10, which normally references 12, but here it's coming up also as the double decker of the 20, 2 tens, or two 10s. But the 11 was coming up here too, because the 11 reduces to 2, which came up earlier, and the reference to 11 in Justice and 20 in Judgment, which are both the most legal cards here. And then the 22 of the Fool's Journey and the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles came up, which add up to 88, which are the twins dancing. Through the wake up, there is justice and alignment of both twos. The two and the two vines wrapping around the trunk in the throat activation here. And I wrote below that, but it was on the next line, cheers. But I'm just getting to say it now because there's like the throat activation and, you know, you're taking a sip to toast. At 1014 is the destiny of the 14 of that higher love of the Temperance card, of patience and balance and aligning with the 39 of community, of the Knight of Cups, and the 38 of the Queen of Cups, toiling and laboring. And this could be the energy of like the Knight of Cups being in the family business with the community, and the cheers or the group, you know, being at the bar, hanging out, feeling at home there. And then the 38 of the Q, weaving and plucking strings, or the phone company, the sewing factories coming up here. And that's my other grandmother, because she raised her little brother in the sewing factories in Poland. So that's coming up as well. So both my grandmothers are coming up. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior, path lined with butterflies in the south of France. My grandmother, you know, lived in France with my father. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior, path lined with butterflies, and with the south of France was so beautiful. I went there on the Mary Magdalene retreat with Mercedes Kirkle, which was beautiful. I would highly recommend it. But there was butterflies everywhere in the countryside there. It was so beautiful. The 6 of the King of Wands and the lover or family in a breakthrough as the clouds pull away to reveal the sun, and that the dark birds are exiting, and that the exit has begun. The 33 of the 8 of Pentacles, free from their cage, with the key to Christ or unity consciousness, and the 20 somebody dissected? Because I was going to say 27. 20 dissected or 20 sected? I feel like I said dissected. But 27 is the Ace of Wands, inspired by the unexpected, or this could be income or an incoming person or thing. There's an exchange of hands here, whether it's a penny. Penny is our insurance carrier in Pennsylvania too, so there could be exchange of hands there. This could reference the Queen, and this could reference Canada, since that's governed by UK. And then copper and pennies from heaven also coming up here, or made a deal, so let's make a deal to get out of prison or work. And then Queensland came up, which is Northeast Australia, the UK regarding Canada, like I just say, and Newfoundland, and then Pennsylvania also coming up with penny. And the strength, manifestation, and dance of the healthcare systems and insurance and or rebates. With doctor, patient, IVs and dictation, an official person, red and decorated, stepping up. Perhaps a military baseball personality, or Jekyll and Hyde, in exchange of hands or payoff to the poor or unexpected inheritance. With reflecting swans and the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups, or Aries and Pisces. And Aries and Pisces can reference A to Z, the root to the crown. And then the rebirth with fresh eyes of 33, 20, and 17 of concern, the house, and the Queen of Cups dream. And it's coming up like the concern of Australia, the house of the US, and the Queen's dream, referencing Canada actually. And the Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Page of Cups here, with the man of concern about the house, the neighborhood, or the big house, which could be jail, or the gated community of judgment and a decision and a wake-up call to nesting the dream with the Queen of Cups. Aries, Pisces, Aquarius here, and the next 3 signs towards spring, as it becomes Pisces in just a few days from now. And at 10:33, which is the destiny or high vibe, Christ vibration, and the 25, 43, 37, and 12 coming up here, of the Knight of Wands, 3 of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Hanging Man, of high honors and coming together between the impoverished boy and the privileged lady, or Sagittarius, King of Cups, and Pisces, or merging of polarities here. I just saw triple sun again, and 3 queens came up later in this read, I think. So there's something about that. And at 10:33, the underlying energy of the raccoon who's sad, and the beaver who's working hard, and the elk hothead to get a teacher for the nightingale or songbird or baby's breath. And that could be trying to get a tutor for a child or someone to teach them something. Be the night. So be night, which is coming up as the nighttime, but as a double meaning, to be the night. And the B, of course, is the carpenter. So that was coming up here. But to be LC, which is the right angle in the whispering bench, but it's also my brother's initials. And then OB came up as well, which can reference pregnancy and going to the gynecologist, or the OB. And then Ra came up, or Ray. And then Florence Nightingale. And the night in Gals, which brought up February 13th as the Valentine's Day for friends. Or the beaver and the elk, co-support. And then the gale winds came up. So the gale swan came up. So there's a company, Gale-SW, which is a medical products and linguistics type company in Switzerland. I don't know much about it, but it came up. Also, Gale Swan came up as a psychologist or a PhD in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan. Then Galentine's Day came up, which is 213, I told you already. And gale winds. So gale winds are considered 31 to 63 miles per hour. And I was guided to one of the sites online, forecastweather.gov, where the top report was on Washington and Oregon waters of gale winds, Cape Shoalwater to Cape Lookout rather. And then the Strait of Juan de Fuca. And then New England Shelf also came up, as well as Georges Bank, and the continental shelves in other places of the world, and Alaska Peninsula. And again, warnings about storms this week. So the mountain and the elk or buck on high alert, the baby bird and reflecting swans hunkering down or clammed up with feelers out in the collective awakening. The throat chakra harvest, clearing white and violet light around the black egg. The twins, the mother and child, as the shark attacks, the mouse is in hiding, or watching new shark movie with girls in hiding. Jenna and that might be referencing. So not only the reason that movie just came up might be because your daughter and her friends may get stuck in a storm, right? So they're in hiding, trying to protect themselves. So just be aware of that. So nothing to fear here, just to be aware. So the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups in the truth, or presenting the truth to the official collective. Also, this shark, there could be shark energy who could be concerned about the mouse in the house, or in coming together two as one with a beautiful mind and the dragonfly, in nesting the dream with the Queen of Cups. The butterfly transforming at the crossroads with graceful gazelle, and the butterfly, with butterfly kisses as the dragon flies, the butterfly meet at the intersection to become the graceful gazelle. Gaze on the Serengeti, or the serene energy of Source, with ease and grace, grounded flyers into the beautiful place, after cat and mouse chase. At 11:18, which is Justice and the Moon, the underlying energy of the Hermit with the light on, and the long way down the slope with the Empress and the Page of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles Sovereign, and the Page of Wands, or Virgo and Taurus back to back with light and sound, or instead of Mike and Ike's, it was coming up as Mike and Lights, as Archangel Michael, or two with kids or students very well grounded, or all siblings here in a big family inspired by the High Priestess or higher selves, or Pisces and Virgo, or both, or the Nine of Pentacles Page of Wands, and the High Priestess Nine of Cups, or two independents, one practically sovereign, the other emotionally sovereign, connecting soul ties, or kids, or Virgo to Pisces, or both reach out to Capricorn, or tempted to help, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, who are meeting head on, or ending their offer quickly or cut them off right away. This is like the Knight of Swords cutting the Knight of Pentacles offer off right away. As the Dark Knight wants to connect with the King of Swords, or Capricorn is cut off by the King of Swords Gemini as they try to offer something. With the Queen of Swords offering of love, or with the Knight of Cups offering a ride to the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles. Or twins or Gemini, King of Swords and Queen of Swords offering love, or got the Knight of Cups as a driver for the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles, or to help with a move at 11:29. So Virgo, Taurus, Pisces, Capricorn, Scorpio, Gemini, and Cancer, Aries here, or sisters with kids, or the Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Swords, Dark Knight and Knight of Cups, or Scorpio and Gemini, or twins, connect to take love on the road to the Emperor and Queen of Pentacles, which can also represent control at the gate. That can represent a gated community as well. At 11:33, which can be Easter as well, and the alignment of 33 of the Christ vibration. So at 11:34, in the exchange or arrows of love, is the world with the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Cups, where the Queen of Pentacles, maybe their neighborhood, or a word got round, but I don't think it's negative. It could just be, something happened and the word got out about it. The Queen of Pentacles neighborhood or word got round in the world, or completion, or about an ending, with the Divine Feminine or Pisces messaging the Queen of Pentacles, or stepping it up with the Queen of Wands and Page of Cups, or mother and child mother and pet, or neighbors coming together with kids or pets, and the truth of the Queen of Wands and Page of Cups, or attack on their home, or mouse, or scared them, or intimidation tactics to make them afraid so they wouldn't come out of their house. But two together, a beautiful mind, finding their inner calm anyway, and the Queen of Cups and the King of Pentacles apart, where the Queen of Cups is unable to sleep, or is stressed out, or suffering in silence, or this is a sister, with the Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, defensive, or on guard of the King of Cups, or the King of Pentacles is the wounded warrior between the Queen and King of Cups, or parents in a split, or Queen of Cups sister, or suffering in silence, Gemini or Virgo, are manifesting big with all their tools on board, perhaps caught the eye of the King of Wands, Justice, who rushes in to offer a wand, or perhaps a passionate offer here, or choice of path. Or this is a judge who was initially defending the King of Cups as the King of Pentacles, but then changes sides, inspired by the Queen of Cups performing with no sleep, and the King of Wands with the Knight of Wands, with a solution now running in to set them free. With Sagittarius and or Aries here, with Gemini or Virgo and Libra, or women and kids come in to support the Queen of Cups versus King of Pentacles or King of Cups. Or Queen of Cups is the King of Pentacles, perhaps in their status or stability, but can't sleep. And the King of Cups may be defensive because he works nonstop. And the King of Wands is between magician and judge, or alternative healer and traditional healer, or judge getting the Knight of Wands to concede with help in being creative, or taking call and choosing a path that sets them free. So at 11:51, which is Justice and the King of Swords, the 2 is the High Priestess or Divine Feminine, and to review and time out needed in the purple moon, reflecting the collective awakening with the 22 and Archangel Sandalphon, who's with you now, serenading officially with the wounded warrior Kundalini rising to the Queen of Pentacles with signs and synchronicities, or birds of spring with messages of love, and the 10 of Cups family and that higher love as the song is playing on them in the background. The robin, again, the sign of spring, and on an evergreen, with 20 of the cosmos mirroring the 2 and the 10 of the dodeca, or 20 and 50 coming up here as well. Of the family awakening. And remember, the 2 and 5 reflect. The 20 of the wake-up call, or perhaps judgment or a decision. And then the 10 of Cups of ending an emotional cycle. At 11:56, the alignment of the 2 of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, or are you pretending not to know so you don't have to deal with something? And the 18 of Mother Earth in cubits, and fields of grain, which is God's rain. Two roofs bind together here, or two families come together, with the 51 of the King of Swords, and white of purity and innocence, and diamond light, and the mic and light of Metatron, and get it on. So the meta of Metatron and the Tron, I looked up all the definitions of both for the message that was coming through. And by the way, meta also means metoidioplasty, which is a reassignment of female to male. Furious energies come up here, as well as the eye, the range, the mint, and the nose. And the eyes and the nose as Metatron. So Metatron literally means pillars and throne. So again, the table setting of the plate in the middle, or the earth in the middle with the two pillars on either side. And the eyes and the nose. So again, the nose in the middle, and then the two eyebrows. And the furious thunder, or the drunk in toilet. Self-referencing tunnel, which is the nose, right? Because the eye reflects, and then the nose is the tunnel. The pile of shit, or straw, or is this just a range of finding the needle in the haystack of what you value? So what's coming up here right now is the minted throne, that you cannot find within what you do not own or value. Where the needle is the top of the range of the pile of things that you value, the top of the mountain is the hardest place to get to. You must climb and sift through and keep going, all knowing. Like something you lost, but you know that it's there. You just have to let go and surrender to all that is to find. So accept all outcomes to come to accept. This is the ACTS test, or the support of Atlas, or LAX, the angels. Crazy Eights dance. At 12:17, the Hanging Man and the Star, with Mother Earth and King of Swords, and her throne and his light. And there's the table setting of the plate, and then the silverware on either side is the columns, or the pillars. The earth and the two pillars, the silverware on either side of the dish or plate, or bed with two pillows to rest your head on, of Atlas and Axis. The archangels, which is the arc that angles to reflect upon the space between the human embodiment of Source Creator and the mouth that's open, supported by bones at the ears. The temple of doom, or do the Om, and feel it resonate throughout your nose. Who knows the energy of now, and Jesus is ours, as the face is the cage that protects the third eye, and the rib is the cage that protects the heart, and the wings are the cage of your lungs. The cage is all in perspective of which side of the gate, the door, the portal is safer. Again, a safe, a place that is locked down, a place, something that is locked down, or something where you put what you value. And is what you value inside or outside, above or below? And can you value all of it? To see, to breathe, and to know and love the sea breeze of now, and the seashell of sense of smell. To breathe is to taste and smell, to sample what you are taking in, to decide what you value, as value is Val and you. At 12:32, the Hanging Man and the Journey. So Val and you literally means the valley of the shadow of death, the war, the fall, the steep wall or plain part of you, the light or the case, the inlet of you, value, the mountain wall that causes you to fall into the valley in the first place, to find that silver and gold, and the waves of water and grain, an inlet even there for safety perhaps, magnificent whales to look at, and the island of the fallen, the island of misfit toys, which is all of us, that you are the trap and the light, you are the weight and the wave, you are the choice and the undulation of worth. Do you stay in the valley or climb up to see what's over the next hill? Or do you recover from your fall and teach others, the other wounded warriors, how you did it? Or entertain the masses for kicks and giggles to make them laugh? You see, there is no right or wrong choice, just to be. Who likes to build with beaver? Who gives a damn about me and thee? And staying to build a bridge, to slow down emotions and figure out the cause and effect. At 12:47, the Hanging Man and the Seven of Cups of synchronicities, or from the heart to the crown, to figure out all of these. And at 12:50 of the Hanging Man, or wisdom and seeing the truth of the Ten of Cups of emotional fulfillment of the whole family or the entire earth, the day the earth stood still, the Hanging Man and the Ten of Cups, heaven on earth, where earth is the ear to the nth degree, and terra is spelled T-E-H-R-A as the moral man's game or play, and the eight, or the eight ball, which is the crazy eight's dance. The T-E-H is the blade, the earth, the ground, or the dirt, U, T, and water. The moral man's ray, the blade of ray, the earth, water, game, playing with fire and breath. Or earth, wind, and fire, and Michael's blade, a ray of sun, and earth surrounded by pillars, or knife and fork who ran away with the spoon. Perhaps the Pleiadians, or Metatron, as the sword and the stone is the sun's rays in the earth, as she is the music of the spheres, the dance of the planets, or the play nets, right? The stage of life and the grids, the sound of the cages wrapping around us, and the sun's light cutting right through us at 1 p.m., double zeros backing up the 1. So coming together for healing and pausing to receive. And notice pause to receive, your paws or hands to receive. The Queen's chambers in cubits and pieces, where the Queen's coming up as the cold Queen, or the Isis, the cold, or the cold ice. The Queen's chambers in cubits and pieces, and the dragon's pyramid with fire in their belly. As the sun versus the rays, the center versus the extremities where it's cold. So just as in the body, it's warm at the heart, but can get very cold at the fingertips. It's the same as the central sun of source using their rays to get to the earth, right? So we have the 20, 18, 51, 43, 19, and 26, which is the call of the moon to dance with the diamond light and come together with the sun to reflect, to inspire a new dawn. The 26 of the Page of Wands, and pink with the rebirth of the Magdalene scalloped phase arrays, beaming out from the womb to the sun's rays, the dragon's sword. The sword is the S word of Sophia. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Sophia. At 106 in the tomb of the womb, and the life bulb that flowers the heart. Again, the two cups that are the womb and the heart, and the quantum entanglement between, just like the two cups in the ears of the phone and the string that dangles between. To the tomb of doom, in pining, which is the pining, the fear of saying something, the sword, the S word, the ray, and a drop of golden sun. Her flowering, reaching out like vines on the tree, to break the ice for the dragon, not be afraid to use their sword, their words. She bursts tone, as he the S word. He speaks word, as she sings to her child. And he has memories of the womb to tomb, as W and T, to use to top dog. As Major Tom to ground control. Tom is the top dog. Time out to ohm. The dragon wields his sword, as she just slays him, as word and tone of sword and ray, The stone is the doe doe's eyes and sweet voice, that tear up in the ray of golden sun. From me, my name, I call myself, but I call myself Fa, but me is my name. And a long way to run, so far, to sow, to reap what I've sown. La, which is angels, who follow Sophia wherever she goes, with T, who's creator, the top dog with human chakra systems, to drink and jam with bread, all to bring me back to one. Q, colon, or to conceive and birth to the next at 121, which is like the plate of the Q in the middle with the two pillars on either side, and then the 123 of the 1, 2, 3 jump or leap to the next cycle. So that was really cool. So then I have to go back to the read on the table for you. As we're at 3:05. This is a really long one, guys. So let's see where we are. All right. So now we have the 3-deck read on the table for the twin flames. And here is the message from the top, so you can see it top down. Okay, so for this we have the SIRIAN Starseed is the main deck as always, but we just have the Rider-Waite Mini, and then the numerology deck over there is clarifiers. So this one starts after I just posted the 12 chakra lockdown and the new twins in a parallel move or trip. And I cut the deck at 631, which again, that 31 keeps coming up as in the 1, 2, 3 leap, to make sure to go to source 4 in the land of leap before starting back at the 1 in the new cycle. And the 6 is the spiral, both of the 6 and the G, right, to source through the heart. And that spiraling energy of the leap. And finishing the clarifications at 644, which is the lovers or family and community, and the 44 of the 4 of Cups, which can be boredom and apathy, or grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love in Hercules, which is her harvest. So the major arcana in this read here is Justice, the lovers right in the middle of the read, which are upright, by the way. Both the lovers and the 2 of Cups were upright here. The Strength card, Starseed, and Reason, which is the Emperor. And before the read is the Abundance, which is the Empress. So they're both here in the underlying energies. There's 2 wands, 1 pentacle, and 3 swords in the read, which is 2, 1, 3. The world and death. And again, that's that transition to the new world. The Knight of Swords was in the underlying energies, and then we have in the read the King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Swords as the main players, and then after the read is the Knight of Wands. We had 2 1s and 2 3s, so 11 of Justice, the 33 of the Christ vibration, and then the 13 of the Death card, or transition, transformation, endings, and Dark Night of the Soul. The 23 is the King of Wands, which was the main energy here, so again, this year again, and the 5 of Freedom as 23/5, as I'm losing my voice because he needs to speak his truth. So we have the 35 as the Wounded Warrior as well here, and the 1, 2, 3 jump or leap, the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 23 of the King of Wands, 35 of the Wounded Warrior, and again, Easter coming up. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just in time. The code line's all about intuition and love, and the number 32 of the journey. And the messages came up as this: that Christ, a yes, a bridge divided with Sophia, expanding and contracting or reflecting the path, the King of Wands in a journey of thoughts and words. Perhaps not applicable if editor-in-chief, divine co-creation, and reflecting under the path of the King of Wands and the high road. So there's this energy of being under the bridge, hiding, and that came up as well. The energy of the nation of IG or IC. And the IG is, the lowercase I is the chakra system, and the uppercase I is the I am. And the G, of course, represents God, and the C of that Christ consciousness. And instead of divas, it was coming up as the divines, the divis, which is divis, is godlike or godly. The divine deity, deus, two, or fairies. Expanding and contracting or reflecting their path as the King of Wands to the nth degree, referencing the Two of Swords and peace of mind, of intuition, the intuit connection of you and I, and love. So a very beautiful energy there. And the C is also the whispering bench. So the spiral and the whispering bench, the chakra system and the I am, and the nation of the IG and IC, of those who are godly, in the King of Wands path this year in 23 to the nth degree, regarding the Two of Swords, of finding peace of mind, but without bypassing. So bypassing is like jumping through without taking care of going through it in order to solve the issue, basically, of just being present to it and learning how not to bypass things, allowing to accept all of it as part of you. So we start with Justice here with the mini cards on top, and below that was Luna, or the moon, at the bottom, and then the Nine of Wands reversed, the Knight of Swords upright, Six of Pentacles upright, Abundance, which is the Empress upright, and then the Eight of Cups upright. So Cancer upright, the Wounded Warrior reversed in surrender, the Knight of Swords upright with the Six of Pentacles, sharing with the Empress who's walking away and within to justice. Or Taurus upright, leaving Libra upright in justice, or this could be court as well, offering new passion, creativity, and growth to themselves, or twin Libras, as the Knight of Cups is offering love to end the battle, or to help them fight something else at 7:38 with the Chariot and the Queen of Cups. So a Sunday Affair came up on Netflix, as well as the second half of The Ring. And that's funny too, because lots of half stuff's been coming up. And at 7:39 is the Chariot and the Knight of Cups, where the King of Swords is frustrated with the Ten of Pentacles, dysfunctional family, business, or community, or perhaps in a loss with the Empress. And the King of Swords and the Empress both upright here, with the Page of Wands reversed and the Ten of Pentacles reversed between them. So it could be a child and or family, or just a lot of frustrations here with the family between, or the business or community. With moderation and the 14 here, and beneath it creativity with the 3 of the Empress. And the Empress being patient, or is a patient, and being creative in moderation. Justice and Empress, and patience, moderation, and a higher love. Or perhaps the Empress is pregnant, and the King of Swords is frustrated and or ungrounded. Or the King of Swords and the Empress are being strong for the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, with the Page of Wands reversed, family. And then this again, could be, and again, there's energy around pregnancy here, so someone might be concerned about a pregnancy. And again, maybe you need to be strong. And again, this could be someone who may have, sought a long time to get pregnant and finally did, and so they're being very careful in their pregnancy. It could be someone who's older, or someone who had an issue with a pregnancy before, who now is just being more vigilant about their pregnancy. So that could be coming up. And then the recent past here is Starseed reversed in lacking faith or knocked for a loop, a nightmare or downturn or twist of fate with synchronicities or unknowns, insecure without tools, with good news and leading the way, through indecision or poor judgment, and a need to swallow pride, with the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth or deliverance. Lover's truth, or Gemini or twin coming up here, and the foundation of the Strength card through the Ring of Fire. And there could be Saggy or Leo energies there for me. But again, this is birthing through the Ring of Fire, grounding, integrating, and mastering depression and the need to heal and dream, looking back to heal, forgive, or apologize, with Justice or Libra in the breakthrough to the other side. And it's literally, as I'm doing this and the TV was on, in the movie, they literally broke through to the other side, literally. It's so weird. And it happens all the time. All right, so the central energy here is the Lovers and the Two of Cups together. Again, Gemini and twins, and the Knight of Swords going back with the Queen of Wands upright and the Ten of Cups, with the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords who's reversed, juggling or performing with issues at work, with the Queen of Cups upright and Lovers birthing, Libra upright, Leo and Sagittarius upright, and Taurus upright, and then Aries and Aquarius are reversed right here, or Libra with Aries or Leo and Sagittarian chart, present to twin lover, challenged by the King of Wands reversed, or the Queen of Wands upright, and challenged by the King of Wands reversed, where the Queen of Wands is with their family and kids, and the King of Wands reversed is juggling with the Queen of Cups through work, or Page of Cups upright and Page of Swords reversed may be pets, or the King of Wands reversed is with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles both upright, kids, or 3 women involved, as the King of Wands reversed with the wounded warrior surrendering to bliss now that the worst is over, with clarity or new information about self or twin, and the King of Wands reversed in his imbalance of fire with the Queen of Pentacles between the King of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups. At 8:21, the dance of the world, or feminine and masculine. And so now present in the crowning position is the Three of Wands reversed looking back, where the flame is not present. And again, there was that energy, if you're in 3D, you can't see the 5D flame. Lacking, and like the Statue of Liberty, like there's no flame in their hand. The flame is not present or lacking faith in 5D connection, where lovers are holding on in split, needing clarity about instability, a visit, a move, or in need of peace and being strong, or with beast or pet and losing patience or patient lost, or leaving or fallen angel and got everything in order and left. And soon here is the Knight of Pentacles proposing a plan, as the Queen of Pentacles released them with a plan to stand up to sudden events, or a tower moment, an epiphany or sexual energy, or someone who blows their stack or crown or loses their temper, or fighting their way through the night to the King of Pentacles, dark night, or death of the Emperor reversed and the King of Cups reversed, and the twin flames as the Queen of Swords reversed, grieving, sharing, or settling out to get over loss of the Page of Pentacles reversed, or missed opportunity, and the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help. The Hierophant may be triggered and overwhelmed to face their fears or what they consider the enemy, under such pressure to come together, to celebrate and break for third party or secret passion detox, or somebody with Cancer, Pisces, or Capricorn in their chart, or the 3 amigos who drink after all the pressure. Perhaps that could be like Friday happy hour. At 8:38, the dance of the Queen of Cups. So the 5 of Swords is upright with the Queen of Swords reversed, called to stretch farther than possible or more than ever before. And the Lord of the Rings and the 2 towers came up there, the second half. So the Knight of Wands reversed in a heated exchange, or delay after delay, or defeat after defeat, with the Queen of Swords reversed, dissatisfied with them, or Gemini Knight of Swords upright, and Aries or Sag Knight of Wands reversed, maybe children of the Queen of Swords reversed, who's never satisfied with them and or herself, or struggling to make it through childbirth here. Blocked by the Emperor reversed, who may be unreasonable here. The King of Cups reversed may be out in the cold with the Emperor reversed and no options, perhaps after a death, an ending, or transition. And intuition comes up here with 22, and love, number 6, with the 2 of Swords reversed, looking back for clarity and working to come clean or clean up the act or space, to let the sun in, or go on vacation, or exposing all. Kids, Leo, ego, and the 9 of Pentacles sovereign, with the Emperor reversed, maybe paying off a neighbor, Pisces or Divine Feminine, in a falling out, or to make them go away. Or 9 of Pentacles is with the Emperor reversed, or the 9 of Pentacles may have inherited from the Emperor reversed if he's passed, and coming full circle to heal their childhood or their past, with clarity of passion, flame, and split, and lies, and a need for the truth, or the Knight of Wands reversed with a third party through work, implementing a plan with the Divine Feminine's heart opening up to seeing the light in awakening, perhaps about the Knight of Wands reversed in their ego, or the Knight of Wands reversed with issues at work, and the 3 of Pentacles. And now the 7 of Pentacles is reversed, or the Divine Feminine's heart opening up or may even worse. So normally the Nine of Pentacles reversed is implementing a plan, but this, it may now implementing a plan. It's like if they're planning something new, it's like, you know, jumping from the fire to the frying pan. It's still going to burn you. It's like from one difficulty to another difficulty due to ego still being present there at 8:52. And that could be like jumping out of a marriage into something that might be even worse, you know, someone that they wanted to sleep with. And so they got together with someone who's like totally not stable or is crazy, or, you know, you never know what you're going to get, which came up earlier in there. So again, be careful about that. Take your time. Perhaps the Knight of Wands reversed, dealing with their ego or issues at work, or now implementing a plan that turns out even worse due to ego, with the Queen of Swords, and the Empress walking away from justice or in a divorce, with Libra birthing through to the other side, with Queen of Swords reversed, and many delays between or heated exchanges, with the Knight of Wands reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed, perhaps knocked for a loop by their lover or Gemini, challenged by the King of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles upright offer to the Emperor reversed to look back for clarity or new information about new passion to split and or gain clarity of the Knight of Wands reversed issues at work, with the Divine Feminine's heart coming out, and justice in falling in love and birthing twins, challenged by the King of Wands reversed with too much fire, lacking faith in a past connection, with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Knight of Pentacles upright offering help to Frog, who's stretching to become a prince, who's unreasonable without proof, and the Emperor reversed fighting off the Queen of Swords reversed with new information about Flame, and lies of the Knight of Wands reversed with work issues or Divine Feminine's heart leaving the E-Tower or coming out now at 9 o'clock, double zeros, and there's that energy of Christ on the cross. Double zeros backing up the 9 of compassion, endings of the one and the all. And again, the Lovers pass clear with justice of strength of the Queen of Swords reversed and their inner war, with the Knight of Wands reversed and the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords in interchangeable reflection here. Okay, so let's just pull a quick energy card for you guys to close everything up at 3:22. Ooh, and it was 12 when I first looked. So the Empress, Abundance, the 22 of the Journey, 22 now, and then the 12 of the 12th chakra, and the 1-2 of Wisdom, and the Hanging Man as Easter's coming up again. And it's 5:18 on the clock now, which is freedom of the purple moon, expansion, change in the purple moon, or maybe someone's turning 18. That can be also Taurus and Cancer energies. And let's see, what is our final energies? What's our takeaway from all these messages here? The woman holding the coin. So she's holding the bag. She's holding the control here. The 42 of the Two of Cups. And again, this could be a cookie. I'm just kidding. Who took the cookie from the cookie jar? So she could be an empress with all the money, but Pentacles means practical things. So it could be food or anything. So she could be making cookies. Oh, that's so funny because my niece, I think she just started. We're kind of supporting her. Why don't you start baking? Because you love to bake, and I think she just started. So it could be somebody who's starting their own business. Again, this is the Two of Cups. This could be someone working from home with their partner or coming together. This could be a marital partner. It could be mother and child. But she holds the power here in the relationship, regardless of what that is. And then we have the Magician in the Mirror, the Knight of Swords. So these two could be coming together in partnership, or could be splitting up as well. And again, she may hold the power, but he may have the talent here in the relationship, and this could be in a split as well. Again, left holding the bag. And so which one's actually being left holding the bag? You never really know. He's saying, like, what did I do? And she's saying, you know exactly what you've done. So it's pretty funny, the expressions on their face. And that could be a daughter and father as well. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be marital partners, right? It could be a father and daughter. It could be two people who are totally unrelated. Maybe it's your boss, right? So this could be someone retiring from a position and she's taking over his position as well. But again, she's coming up as a new business or a new job or coming into her power. And there's a contract here. Look at that. 6 of Lovers or love, family, and community. And the bottom of the deck is the Dark Mother energy, which came up as, again, Chakra 11 on Ascension Glossary as the clearing of the Dark Mother back into her gold light. And here's the judgment, the judgmental Dark Mother with envy and the underlying energies. And then the world of needing to step back to see the big picture of the earth, that we're not alone in the galaxy. And 29 of being present in the moment to your gifts and your abilities. Okay, maybe the Dark Mother's learning her abilities. But if you're in a low vibration, remember, there's only so much you can tap into when it comes to those kind of abilities. And again, this Dark Mother, this can be her, like slowly transforming back into her gold energy so that she can tap into those energies. Or this could be a separate person altogether, right? So this could be Dark Mother, and this is her father. Like this could be a daughter between her two parents, or any combination right here. This also could be a contract between parents and daughter, or perhaps parents and daughter-in-law. Or again, these two could be the couple contracting with a mother, or these two together contracting with the father here. But obviously they don't all agree. They have very differing opinions here. And would you really want to have to deal with these three? I don't know. You got Judgment or a wake-up call here with the 2 of Cups. And this could also be someone mediating these two here in a breakup. And are they breaking up or are they just fighting? I mean, it could be both scenarios. But there is a contract here, you know, whether it's family or something practical. And is this a new contract or one being broken? Very interesting. There's 3 power players right there. And none of them are wearing wings. And there's a lot of wings in this deck. So just beware. And remember remember the big picture and the underlying energies here, okay? Just 29, being present in the moment. So remember, when you step outside the house, be super diligent about being present, because when we step out of the house, we so easily can lose that connection. Okay, guys. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature. Enjoy the weather, your moments. Be good to yourselves and follow your own guidance. Okay? You got this. Rise and be loved, love and rise. I'll see you guys. Have an amazing day. It's all in their eyes. Bye, guys.